Okay, here we go. Broadcasting live, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. With your hosts, Honest Abe and Adam K. the Brewmeister. Listen to the show anywhere in the free world at KMATalkRadio.com.
I like to smoke them like some Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, lovers of the leaf, everyone out there in Radio Land. Welcome to another exciting edition of KMA Talk Radio, broadcasting live here on this, the 15th of February. Hopefully everyone survived Valentine's Day. We are broadcasting live in West Palm Beach, Florida. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Honest Abe.
Good morning.
And, of course, Paul.
Hi.
Hi, Paul.
We're sitting really close to each other today.
Well, that's because you wanted me to get in the camera angle.
Well, yeah. But
So-
you probably have to get a little bit closer.
Is that...
No one really
is-
wants to see that.
Is this too close? Is this too close, Paul? Is this too
alright.
much for you?
I like that camera because we can see the tarp that's falling off the wall.
Yeah.
behind you guys.
It's not a tarp.
So-
that's just the wall.
Whatever, the wallpaper.
That's just the wallpaper. Yeah, I don't know. That's, yeah.
So I have to ask, and I'm sure all
High
our
quality.
listeners are very, very curious, right? What fakakta, like, Valentine's Day do you guys celebrate? Because you guys got like some kind of bogey, like, thing
Wait, are you
do.
talking to me?
I'm talking directly at you.
Are you talking to both of us?
No.
Yeah, we don't do
listen,
Valentine's
I know
Day
you
together.
didn't do shit for Valentine's Day.
No, all I
Yeah.
did was I went home and I walked the dog.
Oh, there
That's
you go.
it, yeah.
Okay, I knew that. But
Yeah.
Paul and Stephanie always have these, like, weird rituals I've never heard of.
I don't want to tell you.
Yes, yeah, I told you.
Uh,
And this is not rehearsed. I just want our listeners to know I have no idea what he did, but I'm sure it's something goofy and tacky. So, fess up.
So actually, last night was the first night that Axel spent the night alone without either one of us.
By
At
himself in the house?
No, at my
Oh,
parents' house.
okay.
At my parents' house. They picked him up. They brought him up to their house in Vero and kept him for the night. And
How'd it go?
he was fine. They took him out to dinner. They have cousins in town.
Okay, so there
up
was
there.
no problem there.
No issue.
All right, so now tell us what the fakakta thing that you and
We
your
went
wife did.
to a. I wish Evan was here to back me up on this.
Yeah, come on.
So
Nope.
we went to a farm in, I think it's Loxahatchee, the U farm.
No, not the U farm.
It's like that. What you're thinking though. There's a couple like this.
Yeah,
And they had a chef there. I think he's one of. He said he's one of 7 master fusion chefs in the. And
Your
when
son.
you do that, you block me out. Just so you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
And
Wow.
so he's a master fusion chef, whatever that means. And they made an entire meal for us, like
Just
you
for
know,
you two alone?
on the farm. No, there was 40 of us.
I
I
would have been
think.
more impressed if it was just you two alone.
Well, I don't have that kind of cash, bro.
Sure you do. You're just cheap.
I am cheap.
Okay.
Also true. Very true. Not going to deny it. Yeah.
So that's normal. That's not nothing unusual. You didn't have any weird.
It was on a farm. It was
It's
a
not
little
that
bit.
weird.
It was a little bit different. I'll be honest, but it was good. It just took. It was supposed to be from 7 to 9, and we were like, "This is great. The baby's not there. We're gonna get to go home. We'll
Did
chill
she
out."
freak out or did she handle it okay? Because I know the
I
first
think
time
he was freaking out more than she was, is
cried.
what I'm going to go.
I know.
Yeah.
I know for moms, like that first time that happens, they freak out, man.
I don't know. I felt like when he was talking about it
I
the
did
entire
freak
time,
out.
like
Like by
he
her-
was going to freak out more.
By our like our third kid, it's like, hey, you know, we don't get the kids for tonight. Who cares? Leave them there for a week. You know? They get numb to it after a while.
I mean,
But the first one's always hard.
when we came home and I was a little liquored up, you know, I had my designated driver with me. It was a little bit normal because he's usually in bed anyway. So even if we have a babysitter, so it was hard, but it's good. We're gonna leave here and go up there tonight and stay the night up there, and you know,
All right,
he'll be fine.
that was more normal than I thought.
The crazy part of it is that this week I found a fraud on my debit card. So
Fake charge, I mean, somebody used it. Dude, it happens like once or twice a year on my cards.
Yeah, so like from
It's
like
so prolific.
in
It's not even funny.
48 hours from the Everglades to Georgia, there was $100 at like every gas station up 95. So this morning I went to go get Evan's beer because I owe him a beer, and I went to
Old
get
style,
gas.
Milwaukee's best. What'd you get?
Well,
You
here's
wanna
the
surprise
story.
him? Yeah.
All of my Chase accounts are now frozen.
Oh wow.
So I mean, I called them on the way here,
So
but I
you
could
couldn't
not
get the
make a
beer?
purchase. I couldn't get a
You
beer.
didn't have like $10 in your pocket to get this man a beer.
I maybe it's a generational thing.
It
I
is a
literally have
generational thing.
$0. I don't have any paper money. I don't have it.
You
I do
shaking
have
your
some
head
in
too?
my
No
house.
paper money?
Oh, no. Paper money.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
See, that's old school.
Let's introduce our guests since they're going to start.
Yes,
I want their opinions on a couple things
Okay,
anyway.
yeah. With us, of course, Mr. Pete Johnson of the Tuaje Cigars. This is going to be our Meet Your Maker today. Pete, thanks for being here, buddy.
Howdy.
And, of course, sitting in, Mr. Hurricane Jose Ortega as the self-proclaimed hurricane.
The self-proclaimed.
Not really.
Oh, no. Come on. That is a self-given moniker.
You have cash in your pocket right now?
Not at the moment. It's in
Dude.
the car. It's in the
No,
car.
I have to have cash, man.
I don't know how to leave without. If I don't have cash in my pocket, I freak out.
My father freaks out when he
Yeah.
hears that I don't
I'm the
carry
same
cash.
way.
It's got to be like an old school thing. I mean, honestly, I don't charge much. I try not to charge much, but like obviously gas stations and stuff like that. But I gotta have cash in my pocket. I just don't know how to function without cash in my pocket.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted, and it happens all the time. Like people have not one quarter in their pocket. I would just see what if there's like an electronic shutdown, and
So I have cash in the house.
Called a hurricane.
Fun story about that. I was actually at a restaurant getting takeout one time, and their entire POS system went down.
That's what I'm saying.
And I literally dude, here's what I know my bill should be. Here's money. Just give me food. I will go now.
Yeah, I mean, what if
And I
there's
almost asked him, do you want me to help you fix your problem? Because I probably knew how to fix
I
it.
mean, what if there's like a global EMP and
Oh, yeah.
everything gets shut down, man? You got nothing.
Yeah.
Hey,
What do you-
did you notice the amount of dollar bills that he has?
I didn't really look. My
Well,
glasses.
when he pulled them up, it was a whole bunch of stack of dollar bills.
Singles?
I wonder
Singles.
why- singles,
Listen,
yeah.
No.
If
Why?
they were strip club singles, I'd be so proud of him. Trust me, they're not. They're not. You have to have somewhat of a social life to have.
That's a
strip club.
separate stack that I keep in a separate
Dollars.
area that only comes out when you're planning on
Okay,
going to sexier
here's another
area.
good question. How do you hold your cash in your pocket?
It's in my front right pocket.
Is it in a rubber
And
band?
Hairband, actually.
Hairband. Okay. No, but see,
Hairband.
this. Okay, I'm going to show you something cool. For years, that's what I did. It was a rubber band,
Yeah.
right? And you know what makes really good rubber bands? Yeah, look, hairband.
But I mean, so it's a little bit of a mess right now, and I'm a little light on cash. My credit cards are taking over my wallet.
But it's funny because for years I used rubber bands. And you know what makes really good rubber bands is those broccoli rubber bands from the produce market.
I keep those.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
those are good.
Oh, yeah.
But my wife found this, like, I don't know, it might have been 4 or 5 years, because since everybody always sees I had cash, I'd always get money clips, and money clips just suck.
Well,
right?
especially when you have that much cash. I have a money clip, but
they just suck, right? Because as soon as you put like 10 bills in it, it bends out, it doesn't hold anything. This clip now has got to be 3 or 4 years old. It will hold one single. Look at that.
Wow.
It's some titanium website. This is a 4-year-old money clip. Did you see how it snapped? Doesn't bend ever. It was the best gift, one of the best gifts my
so
wife
you
ever
wouldn't be
got me.
impressed by my Tiffany money clip.
No.
No, this is a piece of crap,
No,
actually.
this is like a $50 money clip.
I had one of
$25
those
money
Tiffany
clip.
money clips.
Yeah, I
horrible.
lost all my credit cards in a cab one time. I took it out to pay with a credit card, and it flipped off because same thing happens. It won't stay tight, and all my credit cards, all my everything went all over the place. And I was like, oh my god, I thought I picked up everything. I
Look,
left the
this
credit
is
card
so
in there.
tight.
Oh my God,
I can't even get the one bill in still. Look at that. One bill.
Yeah, that's got a nice.
Yeah.
That's got a nice grip because the one that I have is magnet, but once you have too many bills in
It won't go through.
It won't go through.
I'm telling you, that's the best money clip I found in my wife found it actually, but it's the best money
Well,
clip
give him a
I've
plug.
ever
What's the
had.
brand?
I can't remember. It's titanium something. I'll Google it or find it and post the link.
What's on the back?
Well, you can get your logos, you can get your initials. So this is just one they had on there, so I had it
Okay.
done. Zombie Outbreak Response Team.
There you go.
So
It's funny.
Sounds like one of my
Zombie,
clients.
It's following me because we watched World War Z last night.
Really?
is that
Yeah.
the Brad
The
Pitt
Brad
one?
Pitt one, I
That
like
was
it.
actually pretty good.
Yanni's never seen it, so she was
Oh.
like tapping her feet a lot. I'm like, what's wrong?
Freaking
She goes,
out?
I don't like this stuff.
Listen, it doesn't bother me, but typically that genre of movie I don't get into it, right? But I enjoyed that movie. That was actually
that's
pretty
one
wild.
of the best zombie ones, actually.
Interesting time to watch that, especially now with all the coronavirus stuff
Yeah.
going on.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
100%.
yeah. Did you really pick the right time to watch that with her?
No, true story, yeah.
Hey, listen, you want to clear out a line in a supermarket? Just mention you just got back from China and start coughing. Get to the front of the line real quick.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
People are pretty paranoid.
I liked that one, and I liked The Will Smith one. What was it, Legend?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend.
Yeah. That was a great
I kind of
movie.
like that one too. Those were both kind of like the better.
I didn't really like that one because of the dog.
Oh, because the dog died.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
that's
not
a hard.
fan of that.
It's a
I
hard
guess you're not a
emotional.
fan of Old Yeller either.
Well, I haven't seen that since I was probably 2.
Dramatic.
It's on Disney Plus now.
Is it
Throwing
really?
it out there. Oh yeah.
Of
I
course
watched
it
it.
is.
You know, Disney's like the world's biggest like cult,
Stop.
right? You belong to a cult.
Stop.
You might as well.
You are a cult member.
You might as well be
It's not
drinking
a cult.
Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah,
It's such a cult.
Abe,
It's such.
you don't know
Disney-
what you're talking about.
Yes,
Listen,
You go to Disneyland a lot?
I go
Dude,
to
he's
Disney
a Disney
World a lot,
freak.
all the time. I'll be there next week.
He's
Okay.
a Disney freak.
I cannot
Even with
believe
the
that.
prices raising up, you're still going?
Well, as Abe said, I'm obviously rolling in cash, so.
Dude, honestly, I believe that Disney's like one of the most like secret underground cult in the universe. I think they raise kids in their farms for their program and the Disney Channel.
Yeah, that's a little freaky.
It's very. If you really look at it, bring down the whole Disney thing is just a little bit freaky.
No, listen, and there's a lot of hidden messages within all those movies.
Always.
If you pay attention to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Now, I don't think it started out that way, but it sure got that way in my opinion.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
I don't know. I think Walt was a pretty weird dude.
I don't
yeah.
know him that well, so I can't say. It may have started out that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Walt was a strange dude. I'm not going to lie.
But I remember when I discovered the Disney Channel. This was before we had kids. Like
When it was a premium channel?
my wife moved in, and I started. I can't remember what happened, but she was watching something. What is it? Oh, the Disney Channel. It's like I first discovered it, right? And then I found myself like a month later, like watching Disney Channel shows. I'm like, what is going on here?
That's what they want, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is so weird. It's like I got brainwashed or whatever. So like I like my kids never watched the Disney Channel. Yeah, I was watching. I knew Shia LaBeouf when he had his little show on there. I was watching. Oh yeah, I forgot what it was called.
That's
but
more
That's
creepy
like
to me.
01 or like
I don't know.
late 90s kind of
I
thing.
don't
yeah.
know. There was. I mean, yeah. I was stuck. Like I would come home and like turn on my TV. It was on the Disney Channel. And I would just leave it and just like watch it. Then like I realized a couple hours later, I'm watching the Disney
Yeah,
Channel.
I don't watch that stuff.
Sure you do.
No, I watch the movies.
Yeah.
My son is obsessed with Toy Story, so it keeps him quiet.
Well, it's not the movies, but it's the channel that I started realizing, like this whole cult thing.
Yeah,
how they groom them.
the original
Then
programming.
they make their own music with the kids, and the sound. It's like it just got really weird. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird.
There's a lot of vertical integration that goes on there. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think that the whole thing with Disney Plus, though, kind of killed every other platform. If you go on Amazon and Netflix to try to find a movie, you can't find it. You have to buy it. So I have a
Right.
feeling that they're all on the new Disney platform.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. No,
Because they
especially-
own
yeah.
everything.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it is a monopoly for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, anyway, we won't get into that. I don't want to take the whole show to talk
It's
about
all right. I just pointing out.
talk
that,
about Disney.
We're not legal experts, and we're not going to break any new
I just wanted
bounds
to point
or
out that
anything.
you drink the Kool-Aid in the mountains of Waco, Texas, with all the Disney people. That's all.
100% true.
That's all.
That's an old one there.
That's old, dude. We're old. Listen. I don't know, like.
Jose and I remember that one. These guys don't remember.
I read about
you
it.
have to understand, especially because I'm in retail, right? So I got a lot of staff, and most of them are younger. It's so like depressing how many times they make a reference throughout the day, and no one has a clue
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
talking
Would
about.
you like to bring
It
up
happens
Winston?
so regularly.
Would you like
It's
to bring up
depressing.
Winston Churchill?
Yeah, dude.
Here we
So
go.
listen to this. I don't want to say how it came up, but we went to this thing, and a picture of Winston Churchill came up, and somebody goes, "Oh, is that the owner of the store?" Like, dude, that's Winston Churchill.
And guess who also
Now, wait.
didn't know
Now, wait,
who that
wait,
was?
Wait.
I did not
here's-
know. That's
yeah, he
true.
didn't know who it was.
I know
either.
who Winston
Paul.
Churchill is, but I did
Okay.
not
He didn't-
recognize the picture.
Like the most recognizable, one of the most recognizable guys in history. He didn't know, and the best was the other guy who didn't know who it was at first. About 30, what, a little 30.
Yeah, about,
Right.
yeah.
When I finally told him who Winston Churchill was,
did he say who?
You know what his reference in his mind, where he knew who I was talking about? Oh, that's the guy from Peaky Blinders. That's how he knows who Winston Churchill is. Yeah, dude, it gets very depressing. You and I have kind of hit that age mark now, where it's kind of depressing. How old are you?
48.
Yeah, you're in our group.
Yeah,
We're all roughly
right
the
here,
same
yeah.
age. We've hit that mark where it's like on a regular basis I get depressed because no one has a clue what I'm talking about. I mean, forget it when you have little kids, because that happens all the time, right? I tell I can't remember what I said to my kid about something like, "What's that?" I'm like, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you have no clue what that is, right? But this happens like at work with 30-year-old guys. And they have no clue what I'm talking about. I was like, oh my god, we're getting so
That's a
old.
strange generation altogether. I mean, it's weird.
It's just different.
But you're a guy who now has children that are within that generation.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about that, and how you're raising them to, like, understand, past and history and everything else?
It's a constant battle forcing them to learn more because they really don't have a clue. They don't understand. You make reference, and all of a sudden I catch myself going, "Holy shit! I sound like my dad."
That's what happens.
And you also realize
Nikes.
when you hear them speaking, telling you things, you go,
I
okay.
used to sound like that.
And I go, okay, now I realize how stupid I sounded when I talked to my dad.
It's what
We had
happens.
this conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, I don't use that excuse on me. I used it on my parents.
Dude, the resilience of children are amazing, especially my young ones, because, like, my oldest one, will fib often, right? And she literally, historically, and I've said this to her, I said, look, in the 48 years I've been on this planet, and I'm not exaggerating, you are without a doubt the worst fibber I've ever met. You can't construct a good lie. And it's like, look, I mean, if you're going to lie, be a good liar at least, right? Come up with a tangible story that makes sense. She is so bad, and yet she'll continue to try to do it. Did we not have this conversation? You are awful at this. Don't even try. It's terrible. It's terrible. I love her to death. That's the way it is.
I can't imagine her lying.
Petra's the worst.
Yeah, I just don't see
Now
it.
she's getting to the age where she's starting to realize the futility of it, right? So, and it's funny because we just had a situation with the two young ones, and this really broke my heart too. I guess Brandy had gotten some chocolates. They all shared before I got home, and then she left like two, and she goes, because it's like survival of the fittest.
I was gonna say,
house.
yeah,
Oh,
that
I mean,
house.
you want food, you gotta hide it, right? So she's like, nobody touch these. These are for your dad when he comes home. So sure enough, I come home, my wife goes, oh, there's some chocolate here for you, and there's one piece. I'm like, oh, thanks for saving me a piece. She goes, piece? There's supposed to be two, right? So.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, she lines them all up. Who ate your dad's chocolate? I wanted, because I specifically told you, the oldest two said no, and I right away I said, okay, well, it's down between these two, because I know the oldest two, right? And my son has had a tendency to fit, but I'm trying to teach him men don't lie. You just say what it is, and you deal with what it goes, right? But he's fibbed in the past, and he's a greedy eater. Like, he eats all day. I mean, all day. He could eat 40 pounds of food, and you crack open something, and he hears the bag goes, oh, can I have some? It never fills up. So my wife thought he was guilty right away. So I lined them both up, like, which one of you eat it? It's one of you two. We know. Right? I believe the two oldest ones. So it's one of you two. Don't lie. The oldest one says, no, it wasn't her. The youngest one said, no, Daddy, I swear I didn't do it. Because I've been drilling in his head not to lie. And then my wife punished them both. Because neither one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she punished them both. Now, she punished the baby girl first, and then him. And then they went upstairs to their rooms. And that didn't sit well with me, because I know I'm a good poker player, so I read people well. And I tell my wife all the time, you believe that story? And then, because my wife will believe him. I didn't think he lied, because when he lies, he hesitates. He has to think about it for a second. Do I tell the truth, or do I lie?
He's still young. He's still young enough where he's got to do that business in his head.
That moment to determine whether am I going to lie in this moment or not. But he was adamant right away. Daddy, we didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it right away.
Wait, so who was it? Was it Zane or Zara?
No, Zara, the baby girl.
Yeah.
So I called them back down. It didn't sit with me well, right? That they both got punished. So I called them back down, and I lined them up.
Again?
Yeah. And I said, look, I want to know which one of you lied, because one of you is lying. Now, you both got hit, right? Mm-hmm. You both got punished. I'm going to punish you again. So lying's not going to save you. Right?
So it's either the two of you get punished again or one.
The lying is not going to avoid the punishment. And the oldest girl goes, I did it, Dad. I said, thank you. Go to your room and go to bed. And then Brandy felt really bad about it. She loves that boy. That's like her.
Yeah. It's his mama.
Oh, yeah.
But he took it like a man. And I'm like, look, you took it like a man, whatever. And we hung out that night. He got to stay up. But yeah, man, because you just want him to deal with it, not lying. Lying's not going to get you anywhere, So yeah, they're very
Can't wait
consistent
for
when
all
it
that
comes
to start
lying.
happening in my house.
You have no idea. But you know what? I didn't punish them again because she fessed up.
Yeah.
But what really bothered me was she got punished first. After she was done, she could have salvaged her brother.
She could have saved him.
Right? I talked to her about that.
She wanted somebody else to suffer.
Why would you let him take a punishment when you already got it and you knew it wasn't him? So you try to work on it, man. It's a never-ending... Yeah, it's never-ending, my friend.
Jose, how many kids do you have?
2.
Okay.
2.
Is that it? You're done?
You're getting in the danger age now. Like, you've got a daughter.
Yeah, and I've seen his daughter. Yeah, I'm right behind him. We're in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
100%.
So, I mean, how worried are you about the future of, like, Like, do you have the gun story ready for when the daughter comes with the boy? The boy comes to pick her up.
He's had that gun story a long time.
Oh, brother, listen.
The bullet.
The
With the guy's name on it.
Oh, you put the name on it.
So no.
You know, I like that. That's impressive. When my daughter starts dating guys,
No.
just
listen.
set a bullet on the table with his name already etched in it.
No, you don't have to do that. No, make it even worse. What I did is I got all the boys to sit around the table, and then I went over there. I went inside, grabbed a bullet and a Sharpie, and I put it right in the middle of all of them, and I said, "Okay, why don't one of you write the name of the guy, because I don't want the bullet to go to the wrong one." They all laughed except for one, and I go, "Thank you. Now I know who you are." And that's simple. Anytime a guy comes to my house, there's a bullet, there's a Sharpie. I go, why don't you write your name in there just in case?
Oh my God!
They get freaked out. I don't listen. I got a beautiful daughter.
Absolutely.
I got to protect her, man.
How old's your oldest?
My son's 24.
No, girls.
Oh, no. I just got the one girl, and she's 19.
19. Oh, well, all right. She's 19 now. But, you know, look, it's really funny because my oldest has been my ride and die, right?
Yeah.
We've had a special bond. And I used to look at her, and every time I look at her, I was always filled with such adoration, right?
Yeah.
Now it's just like perpetual, like, suffering.
Oh,
It is.
Yeah.
You got a few more years
I
of
look
that
at
with her
body,
too.
I look at how she's talking. I'm in anguish. Like,
Well-
does that go away?
No, listen. Here's where it gets
I'm
worse.
serious, man. I'm
And,
like
and
suffering.
I hate to do this to you because I love you, but here's what's going to happen. As she matures and her body starts to change,
Have you
and
seen
these
my daughter?
Herbs.
Have you seen my daughter?
Yeah, of course I do.
She's got a 23-year-old body.
I
11
know.
years old.
And listen, though, here's the worst part. You're going to walk around in the mall with her, and there'll be that
Oh,
perv
no.
that's going to be looking at her, checking her out. Like last night. So I take my daughter with me to the mall to go buy my wife a Valentine's gift, right? And so as we're walking,
You
all
bought,
these
you bought your
guys-
wife a Valentine's gift on Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
I did. I know. Yeah,
That
well,
used to be me.
Yeah, that's a little rough to say.
No,
on the air,
I-
but-
Just say you were out of town for the last couple days.
I'm always yeah.
He probably
I've been
was.
traveling.
He
I was
probably
traveling.
was.
So, dude, I'm walking with my daughter, and all these guys just kind of doing the thing and smiling,
no.
and I'm like, "Are you, bro?
They don't even care that you're standing
No.
next to her anymore, right? I used to be afraid of my girlfriend's dads. I really
Oh
was.
yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't even care. They're like
No.
resilient now. They're just
Hey.
impervious.
I'm still afraid of my father-in-law.
But you listen, you as a father, and we got to eventually get on with cigar stuff. But
Yeah.
as a father, you can't control other people,
No.
right? So that doesn't bother me as much. I'm trying to prepare her to deal with all the
Well, that's
garbage
the thing.
world. But it's my daughter's actions that are keeping me in torment. The stuff I see her doing.
Yeah.
You know me. You know me.
Don't get into Jose's daughter's actions.
Dude.
Let's not even get there.
Do you know how many pieces of clothing I've made this girl throw in the garbage? Like the second I came home, throw that out.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, you've told us that on the air.
in her defense, right? I mean, she's got like 32 double Ds at 11 years old, right?
Wow.
In her defense, it's like she's got these two weapons.
Yeah, she doesn't know.
Doesn't even know it.
Yeah, I don't
right?
think
Yeah,
she's.
it's not
she's,
her fault.
She's walking around all comfortable, leaning over, or whatever. I'm like, girl, throw that shirt out. she's like, I'm at home, and I literally got to tell her, what makes you think I want to see those? Throw that out. And it's a constant battle. I literally told her, if I see you wear one more shirt like that, you're gonna be walking around like a nun for the next 5 years with crap buttoned up your neck.
Hell, send her
Because
to a convict.
I don't want her to limit her, her style or anything. But she doesn't even realize what's going on in the world out there. Because even at 11, I know when she walks publicly, dudes aren't looking at her like she's 11, right?
Yeah.
And she doesn't realize that in what she's got to deal with. So it's like it's
Well,
constant suffering.
that's the thing. We've raised them. I hate to say sheltered, but we've raised them properly. So therefore, they've never dealt with that maliciousness.
They're not
right?
thinking of
No,
that. Yeah.
I educate. Listen, I'm a strong proponent of not creating a universe that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I tell my kids about the nasty, bad people in the world because they gotta know.
Yeah, but they don't see you doing it. See, here's the thing.
No, but
They-
I still want them to know it's there.
I know, and I've done the same thing. I've told my daughter, but it's very different when you're an old perv that walks around and then your daughter sees you,
Right.
checking
Yeah.
her
Checking
out
out
and doing
girls.
that. But I'm very respectful, and so therefore,
I think you're wrong there. I think it's the opposite.
yeah,
I think by being respectful, and this is my hopes, right? And
Yeah.
how I treat their mother,
Yeah.
they learn and see how a man is supposed to
correct.
treat them.
That is true. That is true.
That's what I hope,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because if they grew up and I was like an old man perv, they'll think that's norm,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think by setting the example, they learn that, this is the way a man should be, right? When my daughter had her first recital, I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old, I bought her flowers, and of course she's never had a recital. She doesn't know what this is. I said, a real man will always bring you flowers,
Yeah.
right? So you teach her that.
No.
stuff,
We
you know?
we agree, and we see it eye to eye.
Yeah.
I'm the same exact way, 100%.
All right, let's introduce these guys and start talking
All
some
right.
good cigar
Anyway,
stuff.
now it's time for our favorite part of the show.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
This week, KMA Talk Radio is pleased to welcome back Pete Johnson from Tatuaje Cigars. Tatuaje is the brainchild of owner Pete Johnson in his mission to make a boutique brand of cigars to cater to the refined palates of today's cigars enthusiasts. Pete teamed up with famed master blender Don Pepin Garcia, and the rest is, well, history. Because,
Little
well,
cigar history.
oh yes, cigar history. Also joining us, of course, the national sales manager of Tatuaje. My Father Cigars.
You got a new job, bro.
I got
You got a new job.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure Pete will happily give you that.
I just
too.
made his life easy.
Yeah.
It happened here first.
Jose Ortega, yeah.
My brother, not so much.
Yeah. There doesn't come with a pay
Is
increase.
it
I'm
me or is
sorry.
the AC down again?
It
I
may be
turned
down.
it down to 60, and I
Holy
didn't hear
cow.
it kick on at all. So
I'm gonna
Could be
check
the
it out.
size of the room and the amount of people that are in
That's
it.
true. We do got a lot of poundage.
It's like
in
a
here,
clown
right?
car in here.
And speaking of poundage, I don't know if you've seen the meats that Evan Darnell from the Red Meat Lovers Club is bringing in, but we are going to be eating very well.
So
today.
I'm excited to say you don't have to worry anymore. I will be at the Red Meat Lovers Club dinner
Oh, great.
officially.
Oh, great. 'Cause
Well, Coop was excited.
I was real worried.
I texted Evan. He's like, "Have you spoken to Abe about this? Are you supposed to be there?" Or I was
No,
like, really?
you're good. Listen, I'm excited just honestly to have Pete in the studio. Pete's like one of the guys, I mean, I literally like kind of hound and abuse on a regular basis.
A lot of
But-
text messages.
A lot of text messages.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
Listen, I even texted him like a month ago. I said, Paul thinks you hate him.
yeah.
I did.
It's true, actually.
But I not that he hates you, but that I texted him the message. But, you know, listen, I get it because Pete does a lot of shows, and we're like, why won't you come on our show? Because we don't have it set up for the video call, and which is what we want eventually when we do it. But he lives here in Miami, and he's going to be the host of the pre-event dinner for the Great Smoke next week. So we picked a good weekend to come up, and we're just happy to pump. This is your first time in this studio, yeah?
Yeah. I went to the 2-story or 3-story
Yeah,
building before.
you know, this is where we started.
And then, of course, Boynton.
Yeah, this is where we started. Our show started like 3 studios down.
Oh, okay.
13 weeks. We started here, and then we moved to that other building, and then we moved back literally a year ago, a little over a year ago here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've been here.
And then hopefully
And now you know.
in 2020 we'll get our studios built, hopefully.
Somebody knock on wood,
Yeah, I
please.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, 2003 feels like a lifetime ago, huh? Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
17 years. It's tough.
We got old, right?
Oh, my
I was looking
my
at
body doesn't work the same.
I was really looking at some old pictures, because like now Great Smoke time, where I literally have pictures of you in the first Great Smoke, because you've been involved in the Great Smoke literally, I think, since year 1.
Yeah.
The first Great Smoke, when I was out in front of the courtyard in West Palm Beach, oh, dude, you look young.
Me next to Pepin, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You looked young. You looked really, really young, man. We've
Yeah.
come a long way.
That was the same Great Smoke that you had Paul Hernandez.
Yeah, twice.
Remember,
Yeah.
he had the automatic cigar puffing machine.
Yeah.
And he made everybody stand in
Held
line to
them up
wait.
forever. Yep.
You had to wait for the cigar to be lit for every person in
Yeah.
line.
He wanted,
The
to
guy
make
goes,
sure, he wanted to make sure every cigar he gave
So-
away was smoked like right then and there.
yeah.
So he's the original Scott Weeks, is what you're
He's
saying.
the original Scott Weeks. Yeah, Scott Weeks wasn't the original, Nightmare of the Great Smoke. But yeah, God rest his
Inside
soul.
joke, yeah.
And actually, I was literally just looking.
Yeah.
And honestly, what was sad is as I'm scrolling through the pictures, Pete Hernandez, Paul Hernandez, Bert, Sal
Sal.
Fontana. I'm
Yeah.
just going through. I'm like, holy cow! It was semi-depressing.
Actually, I think Orlando was at that show too. Jose Orlando? I think he was at the first one.
I don't think he was.
No?
No. The Padron
I know
family was there.
George and Rudy for sure.
He came to the 1 year when we had them for dinner.
Ah, yeah.
Which was one of my most epic things because he was educating his grandson Jeff on how to get a lap dance because he wasn't doing it right.
Okay,
Brilliant
that's,
moment.
that's a little
No,
creepy.
okay, wait.
It was actually awesome.
Hold on.
It was
You have to
great.
tell this part of.
Oh, we don't want to go too much in depth.
Oh, okay, we won't. Okay. Come on.
You got to censor him, man. You don't know what he might say on
That's
the
a
air.
great story, though.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, I mean, it was like, he was a little embarrassed, but it was just funny. It was a great moment, man. It was honestly one of my funnest nights we had. Actually, Jonathan Drew was at that dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Gary
Pesh
Pesh
was at
yeah.
that dinner. There was a lot of people at that dinner. It was really, really.
And the thing you said to Gary Pesh is, just wait till you see the discount I get next week.
Yeah, that's what I did tell him. Wait till you see the discount I get on my next order.
Okay, that's pretty good.
So, we got a lot of stuff, a lot of things. I mean, we met we met many times at the trade show, but how we kind of got involved business-wise actually was on accident.
Yeah.
I literally walked in. I had a meeting because I was working on a television series, and we were meeting Don Rio at the time, who did My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans and MASH.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a pilot episode, and the show was actually called Kiss My Ash. Right, that's how the name
I think
originated.
you mentioned this briefly
so I had a
at one
meeting with
point.
Don Rio at the Havana,
Beverly Hills, Grand Havana
room in Beverly Hills.
Oh.
Got there a little bit early. I was still very new in the business. I didn't know even what, like, I kind of heard of the Grand Havana room. Didn't even know there was a cigar shop downstairs, right? So I go in there and look who's there. It's Pete. And of course, Pete was the tattoo guy. Because when I went to the trade show every year, we shook hands, maybe said hi, waved at each other. We never had an in-depth conversation, but I always knew him because
he had tattoos.
Because everybody knew me for the tattoos, and everybody called Abe Ming.
Yeah.
They didn't know him by Abe. They knew him as Ming.
Because that's how Drew Estate had marketed me for a cigar.
Not to mention that's how he signed his name for many, many years.
I did. I added it to my name. So I didn't know he was there, and we started talking. He starts telling me about the cigar, and I had never heard of it.
Were you working there at the time?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked the Grand Havana room for 9 years total, but 3 of those years I actually had the brand.
Okay.
So from 2003, actually 4 years, from 2003 to 2006, I still worked at the Grand
Okay.
Havana.
Yeah, that was the time when I was there, right? You were selling it kind of out of while you were still working there.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just a regular cigar. No, and he explained to me, no, this is my cigar, and whatever. So, I started asking, is anybody in Florida got it? I think at that time, nobody in Florida had it. I think it might have been your first Florida account.
Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe very few people, because Paulie had put it in a couple places. Around 2005, 2006.
I don't think you had Paul as a rep at that time.
Yeah, because he had a...
No, you did.
Had a sales...
No, you did.
We had a sales meeting in like 2006
no, you did. You did.
or 7,
I remember
something like that.
you did, because you came to town one time and he had brought you up. You did. But yeah, there was very few people who had it, and that's how our business relationship started. Bought it in way back then, and then I remember, we had to try it. It was years of educating the customers just how to say it, right? I mean, now it just rolls off everybody's tongue most
Not
of it.
really.
Yeah, more than it used to. It used to be real hard,
yeah.
but that's how it started. So, it came a long way. So,
Well, it comes a long way, but I'll tell you, think about the time frame when we met to the first Anarchy. It was actually pretty quick, but it seems so long ago.
It was like...
That was 10 years.
2000, about
10.
5 years in between, right? When before we put that
like
project together, yeah. And it's funny because, and I'm very proud of this, and we never really we always talk about project, but that was our first microblend ever.
Yep.
Right? That was our first microblend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
So that was 2010.
Yes.
2010 was the release. We started talking about
December
it
10
in
was the
2009.
release, yeah.
I'm going to call Dojo out, Master Sensei, for the fact that you didn't put that cigar on your top
50?
The top 50
Dude,
of the
I
decade.
thought the same
Come
thing.
on, man.
I thought the same thing.
He didn't?
No.
I didn't even read the list yet.
It's funny. I thought this because when they talk about the top 50 cigars that impacted the market, right?
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, and I'm not saying this because of it's mine or whatever, I really believe that had to be the most influential single store release that I know about. It was in Playboy magazine on its own. Our initial run was 1,500 boxes, and then when we knew it was coming out in Playboy, I think the overall run on the first run ended up being over 2,500 boxes.
Something like that.
Because we made another run because it just went on sale. Our servers crashed, but
Multiple times.
it was.
That's awesome.
You know what's funny is I asked my web guy and I forgot to follow up on him because I was going to post it. It was a very well marketed thing, and Pete was awesome, but I don't think Pete knew what he was getting into.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because because Pete had done like a couple small projects, but I had this like grandiose like brainchild that all of a sudden he got caught in the whirlwind of, and they had no idea because we started out with just a website, but nobody knew what was going on.
Oh, even the YouTube video.
I'm getting
Pete
there.
in the closet.
I'm getting there.
Okay,
But
sorry.
thank you.
All right.
Appreciate
Not me in the closet. Thank you very much.
It looked like it was a closet.
Yeah, it looked like it was in the closet.
But
yeah.
no, it started out with just a website that didn't say anything. It was just his name brand that converted into an anarchy symbol. It said coming whatever. And then he called me from Nicaragua. He's like, "What did you do?" I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "I don't know. I just got like 30 phone calls all asking me what this is about. They're saying, am I starting a clothing line? Am I starting a new..." I said, "You're kidding me." And then we did a video and world tours. And then I went down. I met him. You were flying out to Miami. I met him in Little Havana. We did this little video, like in a dark room, where he was talking about how he had this rapper and they were bombing and like anarchy. We had sound effects. It was actually a cool little video. I was looking for it this week, but it was just all anarchy-based theme. And when we finally released what the cigar was and who was making it, it was a big hit, and obviously probably the most prolific microblend, or in my opinion, maybe single store blend ever made. So it has its own Facebook page. It's still universally visited. You know, it just became a thing. And like Playboy even reached out to us. It wasn't an advertising. The caption, I still have the magazine in my drawer. The caption of the article is "Not your grandfather's cigar."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So it was epically one of our first in microblends, and that was like honestly an awesome project. Yeah. Awesome project, and we've had a few variations of it. Apocalypse came up after that. We did a redo, and we got one coming up, so we'll talk about that later in the show. But I want to talk about some other cool things that we got going on.
Get to Jose, because I took that one over, so.
No. Hey, listen, I'm here for you, bro.
Ride or die.
I just thought he was a chauffeur. I didn't know he was.
No. Listen, I drive.
We've become pretty close since I moved to Miami. One, I have no friends down here. Two, he doesn't have any friends.
Well,
so
that makes for a perfect pairing.
There you go.
Well, listen, I'm not saying this because you hear, you know it, because there's been very few micro blends that we've redone.
Yeah.
And Ellie Hill is one of my other favorite ones.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that size. It was a winner. Loved it. And when we redid that last year, I was also.
That was a great cigar.
That's
great
a fabulous cigar.
Everything about it was great. You know, the cigar itself was great. The packaging, the aesthetics of it. I mean, everything about it was great.
No, we've had some really, really home runs, and in my opinion, some Hall of Fame cigars. We've been very blessed to work with guys like both of you and make some cool shit happen. Just want to touch base before we get into the heavy stuff, right? Hand rolled.
Yeah.
It's been out now for what, 6 months?
Full time since what, August or so?
Yeah, roughly 5, 6 months, 7 months. How's it doing?
It's doing good.
Is it something you guys watch, or
I watch it all the time.
No. As far as like the purchases, did it peak out? Does it flatten out? Is it a continual trickle?
That's a question for the Steve and Jesse. They know that better than I do.
Okay, I just didn't know there was any.
I don't watch the analytics of it.
I thought it was an extremely enjoyable piece.
Yeah.
I was a little confused because I really kind of thought it was almost 3 different movies at one point. You know, like an industry movie, a historical movie, and but some very cool stuff, especially on the history side, and hearing from some of the manufacturers or guys that I've never even had a chance to talk to, right?
Yeah.
So very, very cool piece. Something you might do again?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the money, actually. That's a project that cost me a lot of money.
Well, let me ask you.
There are other manufacturers,
business, but does it look like you'll break even?
No. Like I went into it just really to give something back to the industry.
Okay.
I didn't look at it as a profit thing.
I didn't say you did, but it's nice if it was, right?
No,
I mean,
Hey, no. If Netflix comes in and says, "Hey, we'll buy it for a couple $100,000," I'm sure the guys will maybe give me a little bit.
Right.
but maybe not. No, I never. When I did it, it was really about trying to tell a story about our industry and giving something back to the industry, because I looked at it as a giant commercial. Like, it's a big commercial for the industry, and it's a history lesson. You learn a little bit about history.
It's a little bit of a commercial in history. It's like, I can't remember what the third one was.
Humanizes everybody in the industry, and then there's some storytelling about individual brands, which makes it even better. I mean, I think it hits all levels. I mean, your hair, gets up on your arm. Yeah. You get a little teary-eyed. I mean, I'll tell you, I've been in rooms with Yanni and Jaime watching their father's portion, and I look over and I
get glass-eyed.
Yeah, we all do.
I'm sure. It's funny. I didn't plan this, but I literally did, as soon as it was released, I got it that day, downloaded and watched it because I didn't get a chance to go see it at the trade show, and I texted him a picture because that picture that I'm talking about, where you look so young from the first Great Smoke, is actually in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that exact picture of him in front of the fountain with Pepin is actually in that in that movie. So
funny you said, one of the things that I liked about the movie is the fact that, like you said, it tells a story and it's about the history and so forth. But there is no single advertisement for any single company. I mean, this wasn't a tatuaje thing. It was everybody.
No,
it
gets a fair chance. It didn't look like it was a single company promotional piece, which was important.
It ended up being a little heavy on Nicaragua, but to be perfectly honest, when we started filming, the guys had trouble getting people to actually say yes.
Be involved, yeah.
I think Pepin was actually one of the first people that we were able to get, because I convinced the family to let them film them.
Right.
George Padron called me and said, "Hey, I keep on getting the emails from these guys. Is this a real thing?" I go, "No, we're actually filming someone right now, and they would love to film you." And as soon as George sat down with them, they called us. They called Steve and Jesse the next day. George said, "Hey, if you guys can get down here like in an hour, I got my dad to sit down for."
Oh wow!
So like, it was like people jumped on board, and actually some of the other companies chipped in a little bit of money, which is kind of nice to help the process.
Because you know, just things like this happen. You don't know. I mean, they didn't. Probably were hesitant because you don't know how legitimate something is, right? Is this a real project? Is this whatever? But it ended up being an extremely well done professional piece, right? I mean, it was very well done. So.
Yeah, and I still have Jesse and Steve do commercial stuff for me here and there.
Really?
Because that's what their talent is commercial. They're actually producing something right now for the Garcias.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, too, you were at the first Great Smoke too, right?
Yeah.
With Puros Indios.
With Puros
with
Indios.
Puros
Yeah,
Indios,
you were actually at the first Great Smoke too, man.
I was smoking the Big Chief.
Yeah.
Always.
14 years ago.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Time flies.
Wow.
All right, so I want to.
Sorry, Colin just did a wow.
No, it's all right.
Wow.
I want to get into some of the PCA stuff because you were one of the first companies that kind of really put out a letter.
The Facebook post.
Statement.
Nothing.
Well,
Statement.
I mean, today that's everything. What do
You made a
kidding me?
statement.
That's your PR in most
half the
cases.
news I find out through Facebook nowadays.
I'll give you the short. Someone, we were at an event recently, and someone got up on the stage after they won an award, and they said, "I'm Team TPE." This is what in their speech. And I
Oh,
was like-
really?
I kind of took offense to it because
At
I don't-
cigar awards event?
yeah, and it just seems silly that this person would say that because I think you have to be team industry. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no team PCA, no team TPE,
Yeah,
no team CRA.
I didn't realize
Team,
you were expo
team cigar
teams.
smoker, right?
Yeah, team industry,
Right.
team cigar industry, team cigar smoker, whatever. But don't pick a side because you think you're doing something right because the people are in the room. Yeah, it's just silly.
Yeah.
And this was, in his defense, he's a new guy into this industry and he doesn't understand it. So
I mean, look. We had Coupon, who was at the TPA,
Yeah.
and it's still 100% evident this is not a premium cigar show. They're
No.
trying to be.
No.
It's nowhere near it, right? So that's why I always say it'd be great if some way they could find a way to merge and make one show for everybody, like you said, as team industry, right? But you were first there to put solidarity out there, and then a lot of letters came, right? Then it became a thing, hey, we're going. And actually, I found out I won't be able to take my Jordan trip this summer.
What? Oh, so now you can go.
I'm going to end up going because I really was trying after this, and it just wasn't going to happen.
Coronavirus or?
No, dude. I got 2.2 million miles, and I can't get one ticket anywhere using them during the summer.
What?
Oh, no, yeah.
5 months in advance.
What? Oh, because you do American and they black them out.
Trust me, dude. I'm revamping my whole mileage
Delta,
program after
baby,
this.
Delta.
I'm using up my mileage. We're going to probably go into Christmas, so we're not going to go this summer. I'm going to use them all up. I'm going to another plan.
Yeah.
Totally. I've been a frequent American Airlines member since '96. So yeah, they just lost me as a
I tell
customer.
you all the time, they're the worst.
The worst.
The worst airline
anyways,
out there.
I ended up because you can't go overseas for a 2-week trip, right?
Yeah.
And school starts August 10th.
That's a Florida
What?
thing.
Yeah, my kids are going back to school August 10th, dude. I was like, what? So there was no way I was going to go to the trade show because otherwise I'd only have like 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after, and it was just crazy. So we ended up not going. I convinced my wife to let him miss 3 days at the end of the semester and 3 days after winter break, and we're going to make a 3-week trip out of it for Christmas, which
Good.
which honestly in the Middle East is way better temperature. No one wants to be in the Middle East in the summer, right? So I will be at the
or in
PCA.
Vegas.
I will be at the PCA. Well, we're going to be.
Yeah.
But Arthur had a very interesting view, and I know you listen to the show. Actually, for a guy who you have a hard time getting on, you're literally on the show. I see you almost listen to, to the show every week.
I
or
try
almost
to.
every week.
I mean, it's not all the time, but I try to.
We're busy, but I see you there as one of our industry guys very regularly. I know you caught the show with Arthur, but he had a very interesting view because obviously, which I kind of found awkward too, right? Making a press release saying you're not going,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I haven't gone many times, and I don't know. Nobody really cared whether I showed up or not, But I mean, the industry people cared because I get calls from my peers, like, Abe, come on, you got to come, whatever. But the public universe could care less. I mean, I don't put it out there. Do you feel there was any merit to what Arthur was talking about on how the direction of the PCA has been over the past decade? That things that their inability to have pivoted maybe evolve over the last 10 years kind of led to the current state of affairs of what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I was part of the AMAB. Actually, you were on it when I was on there,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Because Colucci was on there, Shorty, and a bunch of other people. And there was backwards thinking back then. So
Totally.
So, yeah, I think it evolved into a problem.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can fix it. What I like about the PCA in the sense of why I'm going to continue to support it, they have a lot of money. And I want that money to pay all the legal bills.
They've always
because I can't afford to write a check anymore.
They always had literally a war chest.
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember, this is how I know I'm getting old. Who was the guy that was the president for 13, 14 years and eventually retired?
Vader?
Vader!
Yeah.
This guy, now, this is before my time, but, like, historically, I knew about it, because literally, like, I think I came on the board, like, maybe, because Joe Rowe was right after Vader, I think, and I was at the end of Joe Rowe's tenure.
Yeah,
right?
Joe was like the executive director, though, kind of like what Scott Pierce is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Joe Rowe was the end of my tenure, so his last year, which, he didn't want to do anything his last year, right, because he knew he was going out, was my first year, so that was like a year that nothing got done.
That was
right?
actually, I was part of that group, too. Because did you get the free glasses at the end of that term?
Yeah, right?
They're really nice cut crystal glasses.
They were. But Vader, like, ran it like a business, the way he ran his shop. That's why that war chest got developed for all those years. I mean, they were sitting on tons of money. Yeah. But as I said on the board, now you only came in for like one meeting. I mean,
No, we were there for.
No, but the AMA like
2 years. Oh yeah, we were only there for 2 meetings a year.
Right, 2 meetings a year. And you
we did
like
that at Landini's.
Right, and you get like a little sliver of time where we get beat up for 3 or 4 days, you know, over there, right? And they did have backwards thinking then. It's really funny because for a very conservative industry, most of us are conservatives, right? Their state of mind when it comes to retail is very liberal. I mean, it really is, because the very most common sentence that we would hear regularly is, we need to level the playing field. Why? Why do we need to level this playing field? Be a better retailer. You know, I am very close with Lou Rothman, right? And one of my mentors, who I miss every day, Sal Fontana, literally walked me up, introduced me to him one day, said, Lou, you know, here's a guy I think you should know. And we've just become close. You know, I mean, we just had lunch a couple weeks ago. He's on my show. And I've always had nothing but extreme admiration and respect for him, because every time he talks, I learn something. And I love that. I love it. I'm one of the guys, I like being the dumbest person in the room. Seldom happens, but I like it when I'm the dumbest person in the room, because that means that's my most opportunity to actually learn something new, right? So, you know, as I sit in other boards, the animosity and the hatred I would continually hear about people hated Lou Rothman, who they didn't even know him.
No,
right?
They had no idea.
They have no idea of the kind of guy he is. They don't know him. They hate his organization, but why? My belief is every one of those single persons, if they had the brain power and the opportunity, would have done exactly what he did. So what, you want to be mad at him because he was smarter than you? You know, find a way to evolve it. Guys like Lou Rothman, guys like Arthur Zaretsky, guys like Franz Blah, who's retired now and gone, they can't cater to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
There's a niche out there that they can't touch, and if you can't figure out it, then that's on you. So this has been kind of a long issue, and you know, while that's one of the reasons why there's been a lot of pullout, which is a palatable reason as far as I'm concerned, I don't far believe it's the only reason, right? I mean, that's just the most.
With Arthur.
Well, with the Big Four. The Big Four is not claiming it's ROI or whatever, but I definitely think it's way more than that, right? I mean, you know, with Arthur, it's also the representation, right? Because they constantly have this thing, and you know, there's two sides of the story, and I want to get Greg Zimmerman on because he's actually been vocal in texting me, so we should get him on. Okay. Because, you know, they have a completely different story of what happened with Maryland, and we should get that point of view and share it. But they've been guilty of that mentality. So I can't, you know, whether it's this one instance or not, they've just kind of had this feeling of this big part of the industry, which, look, I believe the industry is symbiotic, right? You have to understand how the wheel of life works. I don't care who you are. You need these guys as a manufacturer. I don't need them as a retailer. You guys need them as a manufacturer. There are times where, hey, we made something. We're sitting on $150,000, $200,000 of product. It's just not going anywhere. Who are you calling? You're not calling me, right? You know, a lot of these guys in the mid-level, they need that outlet because it's all about cash flow, especially in your growing years. Growing years in the cigar industry is very cash flow brutal. buying tobacco, sitting on it. You're buying stuff that you won't get a return on until years because there's a process to it. So it's very cash flow. So it's a symbiotic relationship, and if you understand the symbiosis of how it works, you understand that everything kind of works together. Now, not everybody uses JR or Thompson's as these kind of outlets, but a lot of people do. You know, it's the cash flow survival of a lot of people.
I think more so it's for a manufacturer, yes.
Yes, I'm saying, not for a retailer.
No, but for a brand owner like myself, again, I don't manufacture anything.
Well, that's true.
I rely on a great factory to manufacture me great products.
But the inventory is yours.
The inventory that I buy is based off of what I'm ordering. So I never go deep on anything. My cash flow since day one has always been very good because I've never had a problem moving what I'm making.
Well, first off, you know, not everybody has the same level of planning and structure. So there's a lot of guys who pipe dream themselves like, oh no, we can't run out. We got to get all these boxes, and guess what? Your brand didn't go or your new line didn't go as expected. So, you know, it's just a symbiotic. Everything has a purpose. But my thing is that the answer is not in cutting out a segment of the wheel of life, as like I call it. The answer is figuring out how to market and to deal with those people that they don't get to. Yeah. And that's something that our industry, as I sit on boards and I hear people talk about Lou and these guys, I'm like, I just don't understand it. So, yeah, I'm not sure if the PCA over time has pivoted and did what they needed to do to really treat these guys, because these guys have always kind of been an outcast. You know, I mean...
Yeah, and I don't understand why.
I'm in the same boat. I don't understand why. They're part of our industry.
Because at the end of the day, like, Lou Ruffin still had a booth at the IPCPR or the RTDA. He had those booths there, so it's like he still supported that industry. So I don't understand why. And people were buying from him
because
he's the devil. But they would go up and buy La Finca from him. Yeah. It didn't make sense.
Because here's what it is. Because I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Because that organization is driven by retailers. Yeah. And some of these retailers have this. If that organization was run like a business, right? Mm-hmm. If there was a business entity that wasn't involved in retail running it, that would have never happened. Because there would have been that mutual respect of how important these companies are to the wheel of life of what's going on. Yeah. But because it's sitting by retailers, and no offense, you know, some of these guys are my friends and not my friends, but some of these retailers, you know, they got their stores from dad. It's generations old. They got that mentality still stuck where these guys are the devils, right? You know, these guys are what hurt us. You know, I mean, listen, they make it harder, right? They may make it harder, but it's on you. You open up a store.
If you look at it correctly, I mean, they make it harder, yes. You know, depending on how you look at it, but it also makes you step up and better your game. So it's like anything else. If you throw LeBron James into my team, then now if I want to shine, I gotta kind of step up my game, or else I'm not.
Which is my point.
They want to be static.
For industry, it's very conservative. They're very liberalized mentality when it comes to this kind of thing. So
I've never understood the people that are like, well, I can't compete with them. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Go to a different avenue. Stay in your lane and let them stay in their lane.
I do not compete with them. I learn from them. Sometimes I see ideas I like, and I'll emulate or I'll add my twist or make it better. But I don't compete with them. The stuff that I know that they're selling, that they're making the bulk of their online business, we don't sell any of that brands, or we sell very little of it because that's not where I've made my niche of my business. So, but once again, it's just a lot easier to cry and complain than to say, how do I better myself? It's one of these things, too, that I talk about the PCA, right? I believe the PCA, or the IPCPR, whatever you want to call it, should be like a bonsai tree. It should be pruned, right? If you don't prune something and let it grow right and grow naturally, it has adverse effects. Yeah. And that's why I believe happened with the trade show floor, right? It just got so insanely stupid, so big. I don't care how many people you put in there. It's just going to look empty.
Always, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but see, they don't understand the psychology about it, right? If you had limited the floor space, because obviously that's not short-term good money thinking, but long-term, in my opinion, it is, right? But if you limit it, because here's what happens to a new guy or a mid-level guy, right? If I'm a mid-level guy and I come to my first trade show and I'm in aisle whatever, and I've been here for 4 days, and you want to know what? I've seen 2 people walk down my aisle. What do I say?
There's no one here.
I say it's a fucked up show, right? Yeah. There's nobody coming to the show. Now, take that same showroom floor, cut it in half. Now I'm there for 4 days, and I see like hundreds of people walking by all day. I still write no business, right? Nobody's come to my booth. But what do I say now? Well, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
I've had these people walking by all day, and I haven't been able to get them to come to my booth, so I need to figure out how to, instead of making the easy excuse of this show sucks, now my mentality
What am I
is different.
doing wrong?
What am I doing wrong? How am I going to get these people? What gimmick am I going to make people stop and talk to me so I can interact with these people walking by all day? So, and that's what happens with the adverse effect of letting this footprint just keep getting outrageously huge.
I agree with that. I mean, it's all about the perception, right? It's like a restaurant. If you have 10 tables in a restaurant and you got 5 people there eating, it looks like it's half what it is. It's half full. But if you have a 20 table restaurant and you got the same 5 people, you're making the same amount of money. But anybody walking by, they look inside and they go, "That place must suck because there's only 5 people out of 20."
But when you have people who aren't like trade people or they're retailers, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of these retailers aren't even that good at being a retailer. Now you having them run this organization that's representative of supposedly every guy in the industry. So I think that's what needs to be evaluated. I think they need to reevaluate how the leadership is handled. Because honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, right? I do an event every year and I know what it takes. You can't be a retailer and run your business and then get on a phone for an hour a month and think you're going to create anything or do anything significant. I've been on those calls. They were torture. You'd be on there for an hour and a half and then what do we get done? Doesn't work that way. It needs to be run like a business. It needs to be run right. And hopefully, listen.
I think they need more people to step up, though. Honestly,
There's not enough committees,
yeah.
maybe as advisors, but I still think it needs a full-time people running it.
Oh yeah, no,
which they don't have. I mean, you got Scott. I don't know what
Scott
they do.
Pierce and a few other people that are in the office full time. Yeah, that's what they do. Rick Vickers,
and they lost Dawn 2 years ago, which was a massive hit that no one wants to talk about.
Well, listen, hit or not, I'm just going to tell you what.
Dawn got a better offer from someone
she
else.
Did. Somebody made her.
But I'm going to tell you something. Out of all the people I've dealt with, when I was a board member or not, she was the most on point. If needed something, wanted something done. He couldn't even get Scott on the show. I don't know how. I mean, he tried reaching out 10 different ways, and how'd you finally get a hold of him?
I had 6 people's email addresses from other people in the industry. All of them bounced back. Nobody answers the phone there. I called maybe 6 days in a row.
I have Scott on speed dial.
I finally on LinkedIn Premium. I used my LinkedIn Premium account to link
LinkedIn.
Yeah, to link in to Scott, and he gave me his number. But it was extremely difficult. You talk about sometimes you have a hard time finding brand owners' information. We talk about that sometimes. It's hard to get people to get in touch with them. That was the hardest guest I've had to get on the show before. Now we have a direct connect to him, but it was very difficult for us.
So now off the PCA, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about the labeling because this affects you guys both, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. We got a couple minutes before we go to break.
And eat.
And eat.
It's
yes.
all ready.
How has that affected you? Because I'm pretty sure you both had made moves in preparing for this labeling. And is this a final judgment? Do you guys think you're in the clear? Are you still waiting to find out whether this is something you'll have to do or not do?
No, I think the labeling is going to be it's off the table for a while. I think they're going to try to fight for some type of labeling to come back, but in hopes that we can negotiate something where it's a
reasonable,
small standard.
Where it's reasonable.
Like, look at the California label. Have you seen it?
No.
It's it's the same size of the percentage of what it would be on a cigarette pack.
Okay.
Which is nothing. It's a little size.
But if you think about it, it's 30% of the cigarette pack. Yeah. So that's what they were trying to do, is give us 30% of the box, which doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because now your label's 10 times the size of a cigarette pack.
Okay, so just to be clear, California has an additional warning on top of the Surgeon General warning that's pretty much standard on the side of every box.
Yeah, that's every box that goes.
But that
out of my, you have it in your store with my boxes.
But that sticker is only on one side of the pack.
Yeah.
The cigar industry had to put it on multiple sides.
Yeah, the two faces.
And was it 2 faces and the side?
No.
Just the top and the inside.
So
the front
it would have been the front and the top, and if it's one of those removable lids, obviously, or if it's a lid that flips open, you need to have it on the inside.
Right.
Yeah.
So 3 faces technically. Most
depending on the box.
Yeah, but most boxes are open lid box.
Yeah.
The majority of boxes are, so it's literally kind of 3 faces. So
if you do a cabinet, the lid goes away.
Right. But it's not same as what's going on with the cigarettes. It's even worse.
Yeah.
It's even worse. So now that's off the table.
We all did a lot of work to get ready for
prepping for it. You moved boxes, logos, made room for it. But my question is, because we, as a retailer, I've already seen them. Boxes have been coming in that way. Has any of your product been labeled already?
No.
Okay. Has any of your product been labeled already?
No.
So then there's definitely no planning to label the products. Okay, and so the boxes. But did you redo any of your packaging in preparation for this?
We started moving around
logos,
cliches, and logos on the boxes to accommodate the label, but we never made the final move.
Right.
Like,
so if this goes away, do the cliches now stay where they are, or do we eventually move back?
No, we move back to the original.
You think
no,
so?
I mean, I never made the move on the cliche. Like, I would have to move the cliche up on the box.
Oh, but you didn't do that
I
in
never,
any of your packaging.
You never printed anything.
No, he didn't even move the cliche. There are guys who've moved logos on boxes. That I've seen it, because all of a sudden you see the logo's not centered on the box.
We've had them here, yeah.
Because they're getting ready to have the labels, adhered in that area.
Yeah. No. We've had everything prepared for it, but
never did it.
No.
We've made the map, but we haven't actually walked down the path yet.
Now, I have to admit, and I'm not on the pulse like Coop and a lot of these other guys, but I didn't even see this coming when the news broke. Was it out of the blue, or what happened?
I knew that they had another hearing about it, but I didn't know that it was gonna. I had no idea about it.
Right.
Like, when I saw it, I was like, wow.
It just came out like out of the blue, like holy cow! Because usually when there's like a monumental thing, you'll hear Glenn, talk about it for like we got this big bag. I didn't hear nothing. All of a sudden, hey, they just voted. It's they just made a judgment. It's no longer necessary. So
I think I heard it from Pete.
Yeah,
I get pretty quick updates from the CRA. So
do you think that this is something that stands on its own? This is a battle we won here? Or do you think this is a symbol of some relief or better decisions to come?
I would be hopeful that it's the second part.
Well, we're all hopeful, but how do you really feel?
But there's a lot of work to get to that second part. I right now it's a great win, but there's so much work to do, and we can't get complacent. I mean, this industry has to stay continuing on a path to make sure we get some type of an exemption, or at least
some normal regulation.
Yeah, some regulation light.
Right.
Regulation
light. Regulation zero. Right. Well, I listen. It's never ending. I was just on the phone with Rocky and George Padron, and they're both were up at DC all week.
They were.
It's insane. It's insane. So that's going on. You want to take a break?
Absolutely. I got to take a little.
And we're gonna have more with
a man break.
Jose.
Yeah,
yes.
we're gonna talk to Pete. More with Jose, and Evan Darnell from the Red Meat Lovers Club is going to be here, and we will have a nice little snack. We're also going to talk about the pre-pack you can get at the Great Smoke pre-event dinner, the Chaos. We're going to talk about that. I got a box right there. I'm going to show that on the video. If you haven't got your tickets yet, guess what? They're still available. Get them now because they're going to go fast. And until then, keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram, too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Dan Blunt here for Alec Bradley Cigars. You ever plunk down hard-earned cash for a cigar? You're hoping you just bought yourself a nice drive-through taste town, only to discover you're in the slow lane with a clunker. That sucks. Say goodbye to bad rides. Test drive an Alec Bradley cigar today. At Alec Bradley, they get it. Whether we're talking about life or cigars, it's all about the ride.
Fuel your soul and experience inspiration with the Aging Room Quattro series by Rafael Nodal. More than just a master blender, but the inspired composer of 4 boutique masterpieces for the sophisticated palate of an aficionado. The Aging Room Quattro series are a perfect chord of flavor and aroma, and are born from the best tobaccos, aged under the expertise of one of the greatest names in cigar making. Truly, the perfect notes for a genuine cigar smoking experience. Aging Room Quattro series, a quartet of excellence.
Hoya de Nicaragua proudly announces the release of Cuatro Cinco Reserva Especial, a carefully modified recipe containing a unique and exceptional selection of barrel-aged grade A fillers and a beautiful silky shade-grown Habano wrapper. From the legendary Jalapa Valley, produced in small quantities, this exceptional medium to full-bodied cigar will continue to captivate consumers with its rich Nicaraguan complexity, subtle woody and sweet flavors, and a velvety finish. Try a Cuatro Cinco Reserva Especial today.
CLE Cigar Company presents CLE Cigars, Aroa Cigars, and Asylum Cigars. With 4 generations and over 120 years of experience in tobacco. From seed to smoke, these cigars are produced in Honduras and Nicaragua with the utmost care and precision possible. CLE Cigar Company introduces a vast array of tobaccos in various sizes to bring the highest quality of premium tobacco direct for your enjoyment. Visit clecigars.com for more information.
Since their humble beginnings in 1998, Drew Estate has believed that the production floor is the crossroads between art and passion, and where the real magic takes place. Drew Estate Master Blender Willie Herrera has crafted a unique medium-bodied line extension that is creamy, lush, and ultra-smooth, and finished off with a flawless shade wrapper that delivers satisfaction in spades. Continuing the story from their factory floor, it is with great bravado that the Drew Estate presents Under Crown Shade, a true Drew experience.
A Toscano cigar is the perfect combination of American and Italian craftsmanship. Made with American and Italian dark-fired cured tobacco, Toscano cigars are produced by hand by the cigar rollers of Lucca, Italy. Smoking a Toscano helps you escape from the real world for those few perfect minutes, like when you're sitting at home on a terrace after a long day's work, pondering life and how beautiful things are. A Toscano cigar can take you back through over 200 years of history and elegance. There's only one Toscano. Available worldwide, Toscano is now available at your local premium cigar retailer.
The Oliva family, the makers of some of the most affordable yet highest rated premium cigars available. For 7 straight years, Cigar Aficionado has rated Oliva as one of the best cigars of the year. And Oliva has a cigar for all smokers, from the newly released Gilberto Oliva Reserva to the bold and rich Oliva Serie V. Oliva cigars can be found at a tobacconist near you, so always ask for Oliva, an unbeatable value and uncompromising quality. The Oliva family of cigars.
Ventura Cigar Company is a boutique cigar brand born in sunny Southern California. Ventura Cigar Company is on a mission to create memorable, complex cigar blends that excite the senses and reward discriminating palates. Experience the Cigar Aficionado number 13 cigar of the year, the Archetype Axis Mundi. Rise up, step up, look up, fire up, and leave compromise behind with Ventura Cigar Company. Check them out online at venturacigar.com.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too!
Yes, it's mandatory.
Experience the new Henry Clay Warhawk, a robust and complex cigar that's inspired by the rebellious roots of Henry Clay. The first of a 3-part series honoring the life of the great statesman, this cigar is made with the best tobaccos grown and hand-rolled by the Grupo de Maestros at La Flor de Copan in Honduras. And it's not your typical Connecticut. This is a Henry Clay. Stand up, be different, and smoke a Warhawk. Surgeon General warning, cigar smoking can cause cancer to the mouth and throat even if you do not inhale.
Welcome back. You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too!
Yes, it's mandatory.
Welcome back to KMA Talk Radio. We are broadcasting live here in lovely West Palm Beach, Florida. I am Adam K., the Brewmeister. With me, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Honest Dave.
Yeah, I may talk very little for the next, 20 or 30 minutes of this episode.
Yeah, Paul, you might have to take over. I got a lot of... What are we looking at over there?
Well, why don't you introduce
Paul,
the Secretary of State himself
with
first.
us now, the Secretary of State, Mr. Evan Darnell.
Hello.
Yes.
I brought the meats today. I brought the meats.
Well, he does always bring the meat. That is always a plus, and we are always happy about that. Of course, Mr. Pete Johnson of Tatuaje Cigars still here.
Howdy.
Pete, now what do you see when...
Jose.
What do you think?
And Jose Ortega,
and the Hurricane is still here,
the
yes.
Hurricane. But no, I just want you to know that, Pete, you've put me now in the position, where now, it's going to go down historically that you're on the show because of Evan Darnell.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. It took him to happen.
He sent me a message. I go, actually, I think I can make that show.
Listen to me. We've only been asking Pete for 2 years, and Evan sends one email. Yeah, I think I can make that show.
For the record, if you use a little bit of Jewish guilt, generational,
I guess it didn't work for me.
No.
Well, in Paul's defense, every time he hits me up via text, it's like I'm on my way to the airport to Nicaragua.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, dude, I'm out of the country.
I'm going to take this camera and just want to zoom in on some of the stuff that Evan brought in, all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
So what we have here, we have a combination of Creekstone Farms and Certified Angus beef. Combination, I got bone-in filet mignon. I have bone-in ribeye. And then I have these Wagyu burgers. And then I topped it with a combination of mini tater tots, crispy onions, and cheddar.
This is all Beyond Meat, right?
This is... that's Beyond Meat.
I don't think Evan knows what that word means.
No, it means get away. So this is a preview to what I hope to be the greatest dinner I've ever thrown. We've done about 60 events in the last 26 months.
He's not lying.
Yeah, I'm not lying. But I know for a fact this will be the longest table we've ever done, because we're hoping for 150 to 200 people.
Wow.
Get your tickets, because pounds of meat per person ratio is literally, that will also be the biggest.
Off the charts.
Sexy chef from Potions of Motion Catering and I have been working on getting literally hundreds of pounds of meat into the Palm Beach County Fairgrounds. And I'm really excited to partner with you, obviously with Abe, but I've been a fan of your company for a long time. I'm wearing a hat that's older than my daughter. She's like 11.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
So I've had it. It's traveled many cities with me, and so it's really exciting. Really exciting.
Well, Pete was asking me during the break about the dinner, because the dinner for many years had been in restaurants like Ruth's Chris and whatnot, and it was nothing wrong about Ruth's Chris. I mean, it was always a good dining experience, but we were limited to 70 seats, right? I mean, the room could only be so big, and we would have to smoke outside, which wasn't really bad. They would always provide a nice little courtyard and a little outdoor bar, and we'd have a pre-dinner smoke, go in, have dinner, and then we'd all go out afterwards and continue to smoke. But we could never expand on it. So when we finally got together, because I started going to your events, I'm like, this guy puts on some epically stupid events. If I can get this guy to do a great smoke dinner. And I was a little nervous because the format would be the first. Last year was the first year the format wasn't the same, right? It wasn't this like sit-down service and everybody coming waiting on you. It was kind of like, hey, we're out in the wild. There's a whole bunch of meat. Go get it, right? But everybody raved about it. I mean, everybody said it was the best dinner ever. So obviously, we made sense to do it again and make it bigger and better. And on top of that, we're going to talk a little bit after your segment about the special cigar that Pete and I are going to have, that guys will be able to try it. First ones in the country, because that cigar won't be released till March of this year. But I want to get that.
There you go.
Yeah, get that mic off the meat.
Yeah, get the mic.
Mic's dropping on the meat. But you do literally. Yeah, you got now placed groups, faction. I forget what you call it, but chapters. New York,
Kentucky, Nashville,
Canada,
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto,
New York,
Nashville.
City.
I mean, you're just blowing up.
We've been getting busier and busier, because what I think we do a cigar dinner better than anyone else right now, and then we layer on.
It's not a dinner, man.
It's an event.
It's like it's beyond just having a dinner.
The philanthropy is obviously important to me. I don't know if I told you, like, since we've seen each other like a month ago, we're up to $350,000 we've raised for different charities in the last 20 months. And the way that we do that is through auction. I hope to do another auction at the Great Smoke Dinner. It's just really special. I think the culture that we bring to the dinners are being generous, being friendly, having a great night.
It's a passion everybody shares.
Exactly.
I mean, look, I have to coach people who I bring to one of their first dinners.
Right.
Because typically the pre-food
you have to pay
is so amazing.
Yeah.
That by the time,
I'm listening.
By the time,
no, made that mistake.
Ate too much.
Yeah, you can't. You have to be very, very cautious with the pre-food. Like,
should I not eat the whole day? Because that's what I was planning.
That won't make a difference.
Nope. It won't make a
difference. So you need just normal. But what I'm telling you is, because you're gonna have such awesome. Oh, I gotta go get me another one. No, you shouldn't have one whole. You shouldn't have one whole of anything. Wow. Like a bite, and maybe share it, split it, because you're gonna get so enamored that by the time you get to the main meat, you're done.
Right.
You're finished.
Coop and I can share.
And we've learned from last year, we're going to put a break in the table. Last time people had to walk a half a football field to the other meat station because we didn't put a break in the middle.
There was one long
table. So we'll do two 50-yarders, if you will.
We got a break schedule then.
So we're really looking forward to that. A night before, we're doing another event.
I was going to say, look how masochistic. He has a dinner the night before our dinner.
Yeah, we have 230 people going to rmlc4jordan.com. That's going to be a really great event. We're raising a lot of money for a sick friend of ours. And then we got the next night. So,
at the Great Smoke.
Yeah, and then we're going to Tampa on Wednesday and Thursday. So a lot of good stuff happening. But this dinner is really special to us. Besides, I think it's really cool that we get to just do something really unique. It's not very often that you can do one table so big. You have to have a really unique situation where you have literally like 100 yards of space.
And what I liked about being at the fairgrounds is we could just smoke. We could smoke sitting at a table.
Yeah.
The venue's very pretty. It's actually lit up very nice. It's a nice little setting, and we could just sit there, relax, and smoke. I mean, it's not like we got to walk outside. We are outside, and it's nice.
Right.
And February this time of year down here is kind of nice at night. It's not too...
Yeah, it's been really nice,
very
actually.
comfortable. It's been very, very, very
Not
comfortable.
too shabby.
Now, you don't... To become a member of this awesome club called the Red Meat Lovers Club,
Yes.
right?
You don't have a patch because we only have magnets. But
That's right. You haven't made a patch.
We haven't.
Okay.
We're not that.
I was just wondering, do I have a Red Meat Lover Club?
Yeah.
But it's really funny because I got busted by Pete because actually after we had just sewn all these on, I was cleaning out my desk and I found a green square Tatuaje patch. Man! So I gave it to my assistant. I said, look, we got to add this. I already told her we're just going to add it right here on the back. And I guess with all the great smoke stuff coming on, she hadn't got around to it. So when he walked in, he goes, you know, I see everybody's company, and I turned around to brag, like, yeah, right there, buddy. He's looking at me like, where? He's like, oh, we didn't get it on? He's going to give me some more current ones, so I got a lot of Primos. Fortunately enough, I have a lot of coverage, so there's a lot of Primo space still left on this shirt. But you don't have to do anything to become
No, you
part
don't
of
have
this
to
group.
do. No, you would join our closed Facebook group. All of your listeners.
So all you gotta do is just.
Yeah, Red Meat Lovers Club. It's a private group where I think we're up to like 2,200 people, which is great.
But they got to be invited by somebody.
Well, you have to be approved by me.
Okay, so they don't have to be invited. They just got to
Right. It's not an
join
open
and then you
group.
approve it.
Right.
Okay, well that's easy enough.
But your listeners are all cool, so we'll get them in immediately.
So yeah, it's easy enough, and then you're basically part of this brotherhood. And if
It
you
really
happen
is.
to be by a city where you're doing a dinner, they come.
They come, and you're always welcome to join us in South Florida. We're doing events now a couple times a month. Not including my lunch at my house, which...
Yeah, and on top of that, he does lunches at his house.
Yeah.
He just posts on the Facebook page. By the way, if you're questioning if you're invited, you're invited.
Yeah,
Right.
Literally, he has a bunch of men in his house, and he cooks lunch at his house.
So do you live 40 minutes north of here or south?
I live...
Sorry, you live closer to me.
I'll live
But
close.
if you want to go, we'll just have Jose drive you up, and I'll meet you guys over there. Poor Jose.
That's really great.
Multi-talent.
Still, it's one of my favorite guys in the industry.
So we have that, and then the dinner is going to be so full of amazing food that if you haven't been, people that were there last year will understand.
Yeah, they were in shock.
But maybe we should like do directions, like maybe like a cheat sheet.
Well,
of
I
your
have
first
I have a
meeting.
I have a videographer that's going to be there this year, so we're actually going to get much better documentation
Perfect.
of the whole event.
The whole event.
Yes, this
And
year.
again, the value is there. We're bringing some great wine that's going to be included.
Nice.
in
That's a big wine guy right there.
Yep. And
Jose, you winer? Is he rubbing off on you?
Yeah.
So the wine, though, I saw a bottle on the table last year and actually was labeled with your label on it.
Yeah, so it's called Wandering Vines. It's by our friend Mateus Kiwanuka, who was on the Giants Super Bowl winning teams. Now he has
those guys.
Yeah.
I'm a Patriots fan.
Yeah. You have enough.
You have enough.
So he makes a great wine, and then we put a sticker on it.
Awesome.
And it's going to be just a really, really special night. I cannot wait for this week coming
I can't
up.
wait for it to be over. I cannot lie.
Well,
at this
that's
time.
you.
It's so
You know, I
brutal,
get to
man.
enjoy my Saturday by going to the Great Smoke.
I really want to just enjoy it one year. If I could find somebody just to come to do everything where I could just go and enjoy it, it would be so much fun.
You'd have to have a lot of therapy. To
I
get
know.
over
I know. Listen, I'm very proud. My new assistant, this is her first Great Smoke.
Mhm.
We're a week away, and she hasn't had a nervous breakdown in 5 years.
You weren't there on Thursday.
Oh, did she cry on Thursday?
Oh no, she didn't cry, but like I literally freaked her out so bad. She was like, I literally saw her. She went white. And she was like,
let me tell
oh,
you
no.
something. The fact that I haven't seen her cry is enough for me.
Yes.
Because I hate
Yeah,
seeing
no. I don't think she's cried yet, but I literally freaked her out to the point of she was like, "Oh God, I have to go right now. I can't believe I forgot
It's
this."
a beast, and you know this is disco year, right? I don't know if anybody's told you. This is the first year we've themed the Great Smoke. It's all disco.
Disco.
Oh yeah. I got a 10. Did you see the stage?
Oh yeah,
I gotta go back Monday.
I saw it Thursday.
Our stage. Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Our stage has typically always been a 10 by 20 stage, or 15 by 30 stage.
You put a dance floor up there?
No. Well, what happened is there's a good side and upside. I'll make this quick because I want to start eating.
Yes.
In fact, why don't you get up and start serving?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Well,
Make yourself useful.
why is Evan not serving?
Because he's holding the mic from dipping into the food.
Well, I'll,
Jose can hold
let
it.
me fix that.
Actually, it'd be better if the mic was turned anyways.
If you like, I'm making up plates.
Yes.
Remember, a chef's hand's always clean.
So look, we got this epic band this year.
Except for when you put them down your pants.
Didn't want to share that before we ate.
He doesn't work at Cracker Barrel.
Didn't
We're
want to
fine.
share that before we ate.
Should anybody work at Cracker Barrel?
No, that's a fact. So, long story short, this is the first year we're incorporating a theme. It's never been done. I got girls on rollerblades.
You've never had a theme?
I haven't been to a cigar event in the country that was themed. Have you?
They were cigar themed.
I'm thinking this is the first one
True
ever.
story.
I've never heard of one.
Don't be passing me this whole thing.
Oh, bro, you got to cut those in half. Nobody's eating a whole one of those.
I'll take a quarter of
You're really
that.
proving your non-professionalism in eating.
Oh my God!
Pass me an extra mic. I mean, not mic.
Plate.
An extra napkin.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh, the burgers are still great. Look at that.
I've never seen a themed. Everybody's zoned out. I just lost the whole studio.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
here.
What were we talking about?
No, but I haven't seen the themed cigar event ever. And this happened on accident.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I remember one.
It's never been done. I don't think so. Yeah. So this happened on accident because I saw the advertising. Because every year we look for a theme. Every year we look for a theme to.
Told my wife I was going to eat with her.
Every year we look for a theme for the printing, right? Whether we're going to use earth tones or whatever. And this year I saw our first theme, and it looked very outer spacious, like outer space, And in the middle, it looked like a disco ball. Like, ooh. Very on point.
Oh, that was good, Colin.
I'm like, we should do a disco theme, and that's how it started. So the theme's been Can You Dig It? It's all disco themed. I got a Club Studio 54 van. The stage they got, so here's what happened. There's another party going on that night. So they have a big, LCD screens, and they're setting up, and we're going to get to use it. But this stage is 40 by 60.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could put 20 people up there. So this is going to be an epic. Are we trying to hold it up?
No, it's all right.
But this is going to be an epic night, and the music and everything. So it's
You
disco
should have
themed.
done these as sliders, man. Even a half of a burger's too much.
You guys didn't get any?
Oh, I think that plate's waiting for me and Adam to share.
All right. Well,
maybe not.
I want to talk about the cigar. So we talked a little bit earlier
Hold
about.
Wow, I want to talk about this sandwich.
Yeah.
Which one? The burger?
The burger, man.
All right.
Whoa.
Pass the other plate over there.
That one?
Wait, what's on this again?
Yes, please.
Is this the plate you want?
Yes,
With
please.
your mouth full. Tell me what's on this.
Oh my
You
God.
sure?
Yes, please.
Please send something here.
Please.
Oh, this is.
Cheer. Stop making me wait.
Is this the bone-in fillet bites? Because it's
Hold on.
retarded.
There's another piece of burger over there, so I'll let you get that one. I'm going to get this one, Paul.
Okay.
You can get
Go
that
ahead,
one.
but you have to understand.
I'll wait for burger.
I hate eating at events. Hate it.
Me too.
I always hate being in a room where someone wants to come up and talk to me
While you're eating.
While I'm eating. So I avoid eating. And here I am doing it on Facebook Live.
On live and radio.
I bring out greatness.
Well, yeah.
Oh, man.
Can I just get a videotape of this piece of meat here? I mean, look at this.
I got it right on your camera.
Oh, you got it?
God.
Look at this.
Whoa.
That just melted.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't suck.
We got a lot of chewing sound going on right now. Jose, you got very quiet.
This makes for great radio right now, yeah.
I'll take over the show. So we
Okay,
got the great smoke.
please
there.
do. Yeah.
Did you see my post? Why we keep inviting Evan Darnell?
I'll keep on bringing the meat. So we're doing, and so you guys know, we're doing 28-day aged prime ribeyes. We're doing flat iron steaks and filet mignon, just as the entrees, and then we got 9 other things that we're passing around.
A little bit more excited about the dinner now, Pete?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Is that piece of burger
So-
available for you?
I will tell you though, when my wife found out that I was doing the dinner, she asked me, she goes, "Where is this dinner?" I go, "Abe's," and she goes, "No, is it going to be in a strip club?" I go, "No."
Listen, you know what I love? Because my wife...
Because that was a long time ago, right?
The first ones,
Yeah.
yes. The dinners were in a strip club. That's right, Rachel's. But that was Rachel's, just so we know, because our listeners are learning. That's like a 4 or 5 star steakhouse, right? Epically good steakhouse. Hello. So it's still an upscale restaurant that's in there. But That's funny. Where's there? But
and the waitresses are clothed.
Wait, Pete
right?
just did it, and my wife always does it. And you'll probably relate. And you'll probably relate, right? I love it when people talk in their wife's tone, or my wife does. When my wife imitates me, like, I don't sound like that, right? They go into this different voice mode to impersonate their spouse. Do you notice that or not?
I get made fun of all the time by my wife for good.
But it's not even accurate. Like if I do my wife,
yeah,
it's pretty much. It's like not even close. I don't sound like that. I don't move like that. But my wife does it all the time.
I think we need to speak with her and have her do it on the air.
Yeah.
And then I'll make that determination. No, yeah.
It's just a force of habit for me because when I was a kid, I liked to impersonate people.
Dude, you just did. So. You got all rigid and you did that voice. He was doing Yanni.
He throws a Spanish accent.
So, in my constant efforts to always kind of work off this, one of my most prized microblends, the Anarchy, and this is the 10th anniversary. Mm-hmm. It's been 10 years since we released the original Anarchy. And then we had done a redo of the Anarchy, but
and the Apocalypse.
And when I talked to Pete, Pete had come up with the idea of making a different size for the first time. So this is the same blend as the original Anarchy blend that was made. I'm going to show a little picture of the cigars here, but this is a different size.
Yep.
Do we got it?
Mm-hmm.
Now this cigar still has the Anarchy, basically. I'm not sure how you call it, but we call it the honey bun.
We call it ammonia.
The Princess Leia.
Ammonia.
The Princess
ammonia. La Monia is like.
That's two words. La Monia, right?
La Monia.
Yeah.
M-O-N-E-A.
Till the Well, what does La Monia translate to?
La Monia is
like a ponytail almost.
Like a bun. So let me get a close up of this famous now basically bun cap that was totally Pete's.
I'll tell you, it looks like a yarmulke. This is the first kosher cigar.
Mishbucha.
You do that very well, by the way.
I'm from Long Island, man.
But this hasn't been what you call it yet.
It hasn't had
circumcised.
It hasn't
it hasn't been circumcised yet. Moyle hasn't hit it yet.
Moyle hasn't hit it.
But
someone call the Moyle.
So, this is going to be a limited release coming out in March. After
they're actually sitting in Miami now, aging.
I know,
waiting for you.
I know. Pete's like, can we ship these? I'm like, dude, no.
I knew you had too much going on.
I got great smoke stuff all over the place, but it's this will be going to other retailers too. There'll be some select retailers in the country that'll be picking this up. So
yeah, but a small amount of boxes.
Right.
Abe, of course, is going to have the big to-do, and then probably 3 weeks to a month later, I'll allow, 40 other retailers to get a small batch of them.
Now,
did you already pan-pick those guys?
You always kind of know. Mm-hmm. It's usually I like supporting people who support me.
That's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
So one of the things we always like to do, especially when we have a guest like you at our dinner, is we'd like to give them a little sneak peek of something. So right now I have this 3-pack which you developed. You made this box. The guys that are going to be at the dinner next Friday kind of won't have to wait till March
to
chase these. They'll be the first in the country. And here's a little Chaos. We call this one Chaos. So this particular line,
awesome.
Size of Chaos, and they'll be the first in the country to get these 3 cigars. Now, I want to point out that this middle cigar here was solely a idea. Sorry, don't want them to fall out of my meat.
There you go.
These are solely,
or you don't want your meat to fall out,
right?
Yeah.
Believe me,
no one wants the meat to fall out.
No one wants my meat to fall out. But this middle cigar, we kind of have this fun creative process, right? Because we text back and forth. I'll send an idea.
It was all through text,
right? It was really all through text. What do you think of this? And what do you think of that? And then even some ideas. And we go back and forth. So he sends me this picture. He goes, dude, I just kind of made this, and I like it. And basically, you took the blend and you just put it in a Connecticut wrapper. So this cigar doesn't really even exist, right? This was basically Pete just kind of made it.
Which I love the name you chose for it, too.
Well, because it's all apocalyptic anarchy, so it's called the Pale Horse, which was the horse that Death rides, of the 4 horsemen. Mm-hmm. So we just guys saw it, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's going to be the Pale Horse. So, but this cigar, it's not in production. It's never been made. We don't know if we're going to make it or eventually make it, but you'll be the first guy in the world to try. Because
there's 333 of them.
That's it. That's it. There's 333 of these Pale Horse cigars right now. That's it. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't tried it yet. Because this was the first pack you had sent me for photography, so I couldn't smoke it. And by the time we got the other ones, we've just been so inundated with the great smoke, it's already been packed away for the dinner. So I haven't even tried.
So part of the ticket price, though, for the dinner is a pack.
You get this little pack included into this epic. See, told you. The epic mounds of meat. So
love it.
There are still some dinner tickets available. So if you're out there, if you're coming to the event, if you haven't purchased this dinner, I extremely and highly suggest you do.
What's the best place for them to go? TheGreatSmoke.com?
TheGreatSmoke.com.
What's the ticket price?
It's $150 for a dinner.
That's a great deal.
Which includes all the food, everything.
Just think about
$50
in cigars.
Yeah,
right
this is literally $50 in cigars, and not just that, but you're getting a cigar that we don't know will ever be made. I mean, it's super special, and I can't wait to try it. You know.
So does that include wine too?
It includes wine and then water or whatever. Soda, but yeah.
So it's you're basically paying $100 for a full meal.
Yeah.
Yes. And full.
Did you
full
see the
drinking
quality
wine.
of what you're eating? And
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, this is a snippet. When I'm telling you right now, don't go nuts pre-dinner.
Don't go crazy on the appetizers.
I'm telling you, I've had some of the best appetizers, pre-dinner hand bites I've ever had at this guy's event. He makes this bacon thing, I call it crack. No, literally, listen to me. I have to put this in a scenario, and I don't want to bore the listeners, but it's a great story, right? He makes his bacon appetizers. It's literally crack. I don't know what it is. It's like the little best bacon bits like ever, right? It's still tender but crispy on the outside, not like a chicharrone, but I mean just like some next level crap, right? So he had it to dinner last night. Now, the people at the South Florida Fairgrounds are truly amazing. It's really, I have so much respect for the stuff they do and how they break stuff and do it fast. Like, the first year we moved there, I was in such paranoia because I had no control over nothing. I literally showed them a floor plan. They did, and they're like, and I would tell them, hey, listen, you want us to email you? He said, no, I got it. I mean, no, dude, let me put it in writing so you remember. They're on point, right? So we had a couple of the guys who really put in the hard work at the dinner. This guy for a year has been busting my balls about getting him some of this bacon, right? So wait, for a year.
What is it, like Empaya? You know Empaya?
It's basically sweet, salty, spicy, fried bacon.
But it's bacon.
Pork belly. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So I took a moment to sneak a bite in. Sorry.
Couldn't tell.
Right. So listen, here's a great story. He's asked me multiple times, and I'll text Evan. He says, no problem. I forget. He forgets. It's been going on for a year. So I really needed a hookup from him, like really, really bad. I'm like, bro, please, we can make this happen. It would make my world. He goes, how about that bacon? Oh, damn. So I literally texted Evan. I said, Evan, man, I really need to get this guy some bacon. He shows up to my office, a full pan.
A bathtub of bacon.
Of bacon.
Is it thicker than normal? Like really?
If you ever been to Peter Luger's, it's like perfect. It looks like it's like a sugar cube.
Yeah.
Bacon, but it's
That's
that
gnarly.
thickness.
So listen. So he shows up with 3 pounds. So I'm smelling this in my office. I start eating it. I literally told my assistant, I said, Marissa, go take this to the fairgrounds right now. Right now. Walk out the door, and that dude, like, couldn't believe it. Hooked me up. I mean, it's like the best crack. So I tell you, don't get over enamored with the pre-food festivities. Be very, very careful.
I'll watch them.
So once again,
you'll be
that's the
babysitting.
feedback. Everybody coming to the dinner next Friday will walk out with one of these cigars, with 3 awesome cigars.
I might have to buy some extra tickets. I have a few people that are going to want to go.
In one of the most historic, honestly, epic dinners that may happen with one of my opinion, one of the most historic cigars in this industry, which should have been. It's so funny you said that because I read that article.
It was Sensei. What the hell, man?
And I honestly kind of expected that scrolling through there that I was going to see that in there. I had the same exact thought. That's funny.
What are the other 2 cigars in there?
They're
the Chaos
They're the
cigar?
Chaos.
Okay.
The ones that are going to come out in March in these 10-count boxes. And then you have one of the Pale Horse, which is the exact same blend that he had used the Connecticut wrapper with.
That's awesome. I can't wait for that.
How would you get him so fast? This guy's on point.
And the horse he had with them was
really?
death.
He's on point. So, Evan, anything else you want to tell our listenership of what you got going on?
Or do you want to give us more meat?
If you're not at the Great Smoke VIP dinner, you have to re-examine your love of life. And you will have to write a apology letter to yourself if you're not there.
All I know is
mandatory.
I got this half burger that's been staring at me. I can't even attack it right now.
Oh, you don't want to?
No, I do. But
Okay, well,
that's going to put me out of talking for at least 30 to 45 seconds.
Tell you what.
One bite.
Well,
one bite.
Well, tell you what. You can bite into that, and I will then I will bring in our special on the phone guest.
We got Coop?
Yeah,
let me get a bite while you get Coop on.
You take a bite, and I'm going to bring in Mr. William Cooper. Let's play the theme music.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music? The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
I'm so glad you had that face on camera there.
Wow.
That was like
chomping on the burger.
That was like
that was Abe's O face.
That was like
that was weird.
Oh yeah. On the phone now from the hills of the Carolinas, wishing he was here with us, eating this delicious steak and burger, Mr. William Cooper. Coop, what's happening, buddy?
Oh, you guys are killing me.
Hey, you're going next week. I don't get to go. You get to go, though.
Oh, I'm going, yeah. In fact, I'm going to Pro Cigar, and I'm coming back a day early for this. So I'm leaving Pro Cigar a day early because I want to be at that dinner.
As everybody should. Let me tell you something. I had a lot of people say, I'm going to leave a day early. And someone said, I missed the poker game? Yeah, dude. For that right there, I'd miss any poker game.
Cooper, are you going to sit next to me?
Listen.
Is that weird? Was that an
That
awkward
was
question?
That was a little weird.
We're not sharing.
That was so weird.
Why do you have to go there, Paul? Paul, why do you have to be this awkward?
Are you going to feed each other like little bites?
Evan said we should share, so I figured
Like
Coop wants to share. He's a fellow New Yorker.
That was so weird.
Come on, man.
What's the matter with
Come
you?
on.
I can't tell if it's him laughing or if it's Colin playing Coop laughing.
I know. Colin has a soundbite of Coop laughing.
It's a better Coop than Coop.
Is that a soundbite?
No, that was a soundbite.
Oh man, I don't know.
That was a soundbite of Coop laughing. Yeah.
All right, so Coop, what's the biggest thing going on in the world this week?
There was
talking.
an announcement, and I hate doing a political thing, right? These days, but there was and probably folks heard this. President Trump has announced his proposed budget for the year, the fiscal year, and it was a very interesting item in that I think sparked a lot of conversation, and it's over tobacco regulation. And under what the president's proposed, he is proposing basically taking tobacco out of the FDA and moving it into a separate agency that would still be under the Department of Health and Human Services. And that set off quite a reaction, split reaction from people in the industry this week.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting topic because, like, everybody's been talking about the FDA has no idea what they're doing. So now if we try to put this into a new organization, are they still not going to have any idea what they're doing? Look, you want to have something to say about it?
Let me answer that question.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Coop.
it's a fair question, and here's the thing: under the FDA, it's the Center for Tobacco Products that's doing all this, right? They're not going to just implode the Center for Tobacco Products and start from scratch. They're going to basically move these guys over to another agency here. So my guess it's still going to be Mitch Zeller and his band of merry men who are kind of doing a lot of this regulation. So I'm not sure you're going to get that like right off the bat. What I think is interesting is I hear people saying, well, maybe they'll understand tobacco and leave it alone. I don't agree with that. This is being set up. You don't create an agency to deregulate. You create an agency to regulate. And that's what's happening here.
I've heard two different arguments to this story, and I'll be interested to see what Pete and Jose have to say about it, right? The first argument I heard is this is not good because now instead of being 1 in 8,000 things that the FDA is working on where we're not at the forefront of the, process, we're basically now the process, right? The only process. So I heard that negatively. Then from people well within the industry, I heard, while that may be true, dealing with these kind of people instead of dealing with the FDA that regulates, food, sorry.
Yeah.
that deals with this type of an organization would be easier to deal with and have a conversation with about our industry, to educate about our industry and maybe come to a more rational place in our industry than trying to do that with a big entity like the FDA that really doesn't want to have to deal with anybody, right? Just give that brakes a little Viagra, it'll be fine. So, I mean, that's the two arguments I've heard. What have you heard, Pete, so far on this kind of stuff?
I've heard more the latter.
Right? That it's more positive than negative.
Yeah, I mean, plus, you have to look at it as like, okay, the lawsuit's against the FDA. What happens in a lawsuit? I don't think it's all going to happen. I think it's really just
show.
Trump. I just think it's Trump being sneaky, because if he says I'm going to deregulate tobacco before an election,
of course,
it's going to be a problem. So this is his way of like saying we're going to regulate tobacco, but we're going to do it next year.
But listen,
after I become president again.
But that's been one of my arguments, because that's been one of my arguments too. Is I've kind of said, look, if he's going to do anything tobacco related, he will not do it until his second term. Right? No one's going to go into a campaign under the banner of, I help deregulate tobacco, right? I don't care if it's the premium cigar side alone or not. That's going to be translated to, I deregulated tobacco to help tobacco get in little kids' hands.
Yeah.
Nothing would happen until the second term anyway. That's always been my belief. Any people who thought this was going to be like, oh, Trump got elected, he's going to deregulate tobacco because he doesn't like overregulation and I think they weren't really being honest with themselves, because ultimately at the end, you want to get reelected, right?
Exactly.
So I don't think so. Jose, how do you, this is your mic, sorry, but what do you think?
No, I tend to agree with you guys on the latter as well. I mean, I think once it's more focus, and whatever this group that gets put together, they're going to be more focused on tobacco as a whole. So it's a lot easier to deal with them than when they are involved in many other things, and it's a bigger organization. And like you said, there's 8,000 other things to regulate.
Now, Coop, you were one of the guys that I saw that mentioned you thought this was going to be worse for us.
I do, because again, I don't believe that. I believe, if anything, this is going to give some things maybe more attention now. This is going to be a totally tobacco-focused group, right? And again, I kind of go back to my point. The agency is not being set up to help us. It's being set up to regulate us and enforce regulation.
Okay, but as devil's advocate, right? Would more attention be the bad thing if it was the right attention? So let me just try to explain to you, right? The FDA has no clue what they're doing. It's been apparent in the last 2 years, right? They've passed all these regulations that they conceptually don't even know how they're going to enforce, that conceptually they don't even understand. So if you had a group, because listen, we're a pebble in their universe, right? We're nothing. They're dealing with stuff that makes your penis fall off and ears fall off and whatever.
Anal leakage.
Yeah, anal leakage. They're not really worried about the cigar industry. So just think about this now. If you have a group that this is their concern, that would actually maybe take the time to listen, to understand what they're trying to regulate, and maybe come up with a regulation that actually serves a purpose. Because at the end of the day, right, that's what it's all supposed to be about. Making regulation that doesn't serve a purpose is just retarded, right? That's just not doing anything. It's supposed to protect something. You want to protect the minor? Fine, protect the minor. Be smart enough to understand that a minor's not coming into my store looking for a Big Gulp or a Slurpee or a Slim Jim, right? No, there's no 18-year-old kids accidentally being exposed to tobacco walking through my store. The FDA is never going to understand that concept, right? So if you get more attention, but it's the right attention, you don't think that possibly could have a more beneficial effect?
This is the federal government we're talking about here. When has there ever been a case study that this was worked in any agency under the federal government? That's kind of where I'm going. What makes us think that suddenly there's going to be this, everyone's going to see the light with tobacco? So I just, that's why I'm saying that I think that there's no history here to show that this will ever work.
Well, it's kind of hard to argue the point that the federal government does nothing properly or efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm. I think at least we know the FDA is a little bit of a known quantity, and we know that there's definitely higher priorities in that agency right now. So I don't know. I know people want to take a wait and see attitude. I get that, but I'm just not. I don't think. First of all, I don't think this is going to happen either. I don't think this will ever get through. The budget will ever get through. But it's starting to, I think, engage that this may be something down the road that happens. Maybe this is proposed 2 or 3 times before it happens. So maybe something we see in the future.
Now, I asked the guys earlier, I'm just curious what your take is do you believe that this warning label judgment is a standalone victory? Do you think that this is a possible highlight of things to come?
Right now, I'll kind of just say it's a standalone victory based, again, on track record. It's definitely a victory. I think the substantial equivalence thing is a whole different animal. So we'll see, because now you're dealing with now you're dealing with stuff that's a little. The warning labels wasn't as a scientific thing, and depending what type of scientific data that they may make up or not make up or whatever, that's where I think the substantial equivalence stuff is going to go. So I would say more standalone right now.
Interesting.
Fascinating. Okay, so, Coop, what do you got coming up this week on cigar-coop.com?
I'll be at Pro Cigar, so you'll be getting reports from me down at Pro Cigar. There'll be a couple of reviews I know we're posting this week as well. And then I'll be shifting my attention to the Great Smoke at the end of the week. We'll have some stuff from down there as well.
Nice. When you get into town?
I will be I'm actually getting into town Monday, but I'm flying back Thursday night from the DR.
Okay.
So I'll be in all day Friday, yeah.
All right, good.
If we have 20 seconds to breathe, I'm sure we will say hi to you next
Absolutely,
week.
Yep.
Absolutely. Koopa-loop, enjoy Pro Cigar. We will see you next week, buddy.
Look forward to everyone. See everyone then. Take care.
Make sure you check out cigar-coop.com for all the latest news, high-quality reviews, and all the information going on in the cigar industry. The man is no rumors, no teasers, no spoilers.
I love Coop, man.
He's the best.
He's definitely a positive to this industry, and he's got a great fan base.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves the Coop.
Oh, yeah.
So
Except for that one guy.
I'm just worried about his health.
Dude, the stuff that he posts.
I know. I keep teasing him, dude, you have to get your cholesterol checked. Listen, I'm a big, heavy dude, but I get my blood checked really regularly.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. Everything's I'm just overweight, right? But dude, he eats so much bad stuff on the road, and he loves it.
Everything he meticulously rates fast food restaurants everywhere he goes.
Every time he's anywhere near Texas, he gets a Whataburger.
Yeah, Whataburger. And he showed it. Oh my God! It sounds like he's still on the phone.
I know. So wait, quick question. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 6 guys in the room, right? How many guys have had the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Love it.
Really?
Do you
I
really?
have not.
Love it.
Oh wait, that was like a half arm. Did you have it or not?
I had it. I had both.
What, you mean the spicy and the non-spicy?
Yeah, the spicy and the non-spicy is just the mayonnaise. That's it.
The spicy is, you only got to get everything spicy. So only 2 people, now I ain't going to lie.
Have you had it?
No, I have not. I attempted to.
You know, I attempted to as well.
Anytime I see a line like wrapped around the block, I just keep going. Forget about it. I still can't believe this, but how long has that sandwich been out?
5 months?
5, 6 months?
It's a matter of months.
And every time I see a Popeyes, because it's not a regular place I go to, so I can't even tell you like where the Popeyes are.
I only know where one is in the county.
I don't care if I just had lunch. If I'm driving, I see a Popeyes, I go, ooh, let me go see if I can try that sandwich, and I pull in, and there's still lines.
Yeah.
There's still lines for a sandwich. I mean, what's going on? But
is it that good, Pete?
Well, there's 2 guys in the room that have had it.
It's good. I mean, if you compare, so again, what makes it spicy is just the sauce.
The mayo.
That's it.
Really?
There's no spice in the breading.
Because for the kids one day, one kid wanted a spicy one and a non-spicy one. I said, I need a spicy one without the sauce, and then because he doesn't like mayonnaise. And she goes, well, this mayonnaise makes it spicy. I'm like, okay, just give them both without mayonnaise.
Wow.
And, dude, it's solid, because if you look at Chick-fil-A's version of it, like, you get a lot of meat on this Popeyes one. I love Popeyes when I was a kid.
I understand. Popeyes is always been my favorite.
Was it really?
Chicken.
God, I didn't. I never liked it.
Loved Popeyes.
Never liked it.
I mean, I'm not
way
big fried
better
chicken.
than
any of the other ones.
Chicken.
It's
Popeyes is
even I like the rice and beans. I mean, I'm not a big fast food guy, right? But if I got to go get fried chicken, I would prefer Popeyes over anything else. But I never, and maybe somebody in the room could explain this to me, I don't understand what the cultural phenomenon is with Chick-fil-A. They're not that great.
Because it's limited. You only get 6 days a week.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
There's nothing.
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay, hold on. Okay, listen to me. Like at the fairgrounds, when we've been setting up in the fast we've sent guys to go get Chick-fil-A. It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad, but when you go there and you see line, it's like they're giving away the food for free.
You and I are in the same boat. I don't get it.
It's not even a great sandwich. It's just a good sandwich. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
And by the way,
it's also doesn't feel like you're eating fast food with
They have their own culture.
I agree with you with that. And you know what they do have is great service. The people there,
they do.
Customer service. No, I'm going to tell you something. I have been in that line. And I've looked at it and I was like, man, I got to get lunch because I hate lines like that. I'm not going to wait 30 minutes to buy food, right? Dude, they move them out. Yeah. They got 3 guys out there with teleprompters. They don't mess up the order. Yeah. They are on point. So that I will give Chick-fil-A. Yeah. They move them out. Yeah. They have got their, protocol, their logistics like down to a science, man. They are moving people out. Yeah. But the food's okay.
No, I agree.
It's not great.
Now, you got to admit, in my opinion, the fries are the best fries out there.
Those waffle chip fries?
I don't think so. I'm not a fan.
Yes.
They're waffle fries.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank
waffle
you.
fry.
I'm with Pete. They're just a
Okay,
fry.
but Pete, what is the best fry then?
McDonald's. I mean, if you had to go fast, dude,
Five
In-N-Out
Guys.
fries, if you have In-N-Out fries, like within the second you order them, they're amazing.
Maybe they're good. Yeah.
But they're dead by the time you get them home.
I can't get In-N-Out fries here. That's the problem.
Five Guys
But Five
Cajun.
Guys, same thing.
Five Guys Cajun.
Yeah, you know what? Those are good.
Thank you.
Those are really
Dude,
good.
I'm not 400 pounds for nothing.
I do remember, actually, we ordered Five Guys to the house one day, and I ate all the fries.
Yeah, let me take some Five Guys Cajun fries.
Yeah.
And especially even if you pick it up driving home and you just eat it while driving home out of the bag while you're driving.
That's usually how I eat fries.
Amazing. Amazing. But I'm not a fry guy. Like, fries never, like, I'll go to an order a burger with no fries. I really don't care. They're in front of me, I'll pick them, especially if they're hot and I'm driving.
No, but on a drunken evening,
Now we go.
when you have a drive-through of McDonald's that's open 24 hours,
The fries are,
salty fries
Bro,
are, like,
they
really
sop
good
up. They
for
sop
your
up.
body.
They sop up. Well, on that note now, that since we're in this topic, because here's another one I haven't tried that I'm a little bit curious about, right? Anybody have nacho fries?
No, don't do that.
I haven't done it, but nobody?
Yeah, I tried them when they first came out because somebody actually had them.
You did try them.
Ugh.
Terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like them at all.
No, I have not
Well,
done
I
that.
had to believe it wasn't a winner when it didn't become like a regular menu item, right?
Are they still available?
I don't think
I
they
think
are.
they redid it, I think. They came out with it again.
I have to admit, the campaign marketing was brilliant.
Oh, yeah, Timothy Oliphant. And
It wasn't Timothy Oliphant. It was the other guy from Vegas.
Oh!
It was, what's her name? Fergie's husband.
Yes. Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy from Transformers.
Yes.
But yeah, he was in the...
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Dunham?
He was in the...
Dunham?
Yeah,
Tatum?
No.
No,
With
yeah.
a D?
What?
Does it start with a D?
Yeah.
Everything's
Josh
calculated.
Dunham?
Look it up. You're
Something
sitting in
like
front
that,
of the computer. But anyway.
Who was Fergie's husband?
No, Josh
He's-
Duhamel.
he-
Sorry,
he-
Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel.
Duhamel.
Yeah, he played
Josh
Tad
Duhamel.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. There you. Wow. Tad Hamilton reference?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pull.
But yeah, I mean, that marketing campaign was actually pretty brilliant. I liked it. You know?
I don't remember it.
Me neither.
Oh, it was like a storyline of evolution of The Secret. It was actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
marketing.
Guy going crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty marketing. Right? So, while we got Jose in the room, I have a little bit of a story we didn't have a chance to touch base on. I ain't gonna lie, this was could be one of the first Cuban brands I ever smoked. Literally when I was just getting into cigars. And it had always been a staple name in the industry, kind of slowed down over the years. But, you know, the Garcia family and My Father Cigars have acquired one of the oldest Cuban brand names I know, Fonseca.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, actually, Pete can probably
A
tell
lot
you
of
that story
secret
better.
meetings.
Yeah, always. Everything in this industry is a lot of secret
Yeah.
meetings.
You might get more information out of Pete on
There
that
was
one.
always that question of why is he here in the office? Why is Manolo here in this office? And I would just be like, I know nothing.
Right. I love him. He really is.
He's one of the best guys in the industry.
Super nice guy. We had him on the show once as one of my favorite episodes. He really, really is a nice guy.
I think it was. It's actually been a great thing. It's for us. I think it's well deserved that Pepin now has the ability to do what he's managed in Jaime and Jenny. What they've managed to do with their own brands to now do it to a Cuban brand. So it's well deserved. But and I think as far as the Quesadas are concerned, I think that they really truly couldn't trust that brand into somebody else's hand that is going to do the justice that they would have, that they've done or they would have liked to see. So I think it's a win-win.
But why sell a brand? They just couldn't make anything work with it. They just gave up on it. Just don't see the.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't dig into my wife's business, but I think that it was the question came up,
Right.
and then okay, yeah, we'll discuss it.
Had they been doing anything with the brand?
Not much.
Right. I mean,
Not
I
much.
can't even tell you if there was still Fonsecas on the shelf anywhere. Was there Fonsecas on the shelf?
I mean, they came up with the
Yeah,
Fonseca
yeah, yeah,
Nicaraguan
yeah.
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago, but I didn't even
Yeah.
see that.
Actually,
stick around.
2 Fonsecas were in the Best Buy list of Cigar Aficionado this year.
Wow.
Which was just awkward
That is
because it was
awkward,
already owned by the Garcias when it came out.
Now,
So-
has my father made anything under the Fonseca name yet? Sometimes I'm a little ignorant. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
It will be released at the show.
Not as of yet.
Okay.
So I mean, well,
so the expectation is there will be a Fonseca by my father at the 2020 PCA.
That is correct.
Which now I'll be able to make.
That is
Hey. Oh, okay, awesome.
So now you will get to try it.
I will get to try it. There's a lot of things there's a lot of things I undoubtedly miss by not going to the trade show. But honestly, one of my things is, and you know, you guys know me outside of business, it's just a tough time of year, man. I got 4 young kids who got summer, 2 months, and
summer vacation.
Yeah, it's
busy
hard.
time in the store.
Yeah, it's just hard to
first.
get away from my family. When
Family's
the kids were,
first.
listen, before we had kids, Pete, no, man, that was me and my wife's like, hey, man, that's our summer trip. We're going to the trade show. We have a good time. We party like rock stars, and then the kids come. And I think the first 1 or 2, we bought Petra as a baby. You know, and it was kind of easy when you got 1, but now you got 4, man. I mean, you know.
Yeah, plane tickets get pretty expensive.
Nah,
dude, Miles have become my best friend. Like, I mean, seriously, that's how I travel.
Your son in Vegas?
Dude, my son here is dangerous. I swear. I'm gonna remind me to show you a picture of something before.
I still don't understand the concept of bringing kids to Vegas, though.
We did it.
Some people out of necessity.
You're right. We did it because we just had a baby. It wasn't even. So either we don't go or we go. And we always had. Brandy has like 3 or 4 sisters, so I lose count. So, you know, or either that or I meet a new one like every couple of years. Oh, there's another sister. Yes, it's one of those.
Hey, look who popped up.
It's like, you know, Jerry Springer show. Yeah, not Jerry, Maury Povich.
You are
her sister. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm going to get in trouble later.
Yeah, I think she's not watching, by the way.
I'm going to get in big trouble later. So, we always had the fortune enough to have one of our sisters who would come and help. So, you know, but yeah, you know, traveling with kids is, you know, we love traveling for the kids, but not there, not during a business show. So, it's been very hard for us.
Did you do the Alaska trip? Was the whole family, right?
Well, we do a family trip every summer.
But they brought somebody to help, right?
Yeah, we bought one of her sisters. No, Kyra. We bought one of her sisters. But no, that was, I mean, we actually were having discussion at dinner last night because we do a Valentine's Day dinner, the whole family. So it's us and the kids. Brandy cooked an amazing meal. I got a picture of it. Red meat. But
Evan,
we
sorry,
actually
the Secretary of
having
State
discussion
approves.
about now that we're not going to Jordan for the summer, where is it you guys would like to go to? Because normally what I do with my trips is 1 year we fly, 1 year we drive. I want them to experience road trips and get in a car. So we usually do a road trip. We've driven anywhere from Tennessee to Georgia to South Carolina, Atlanta, and then we fly. So Alaska was the fly. We flew to Vancouver. We hung out 3 or 4 days in Japanada. And, yeah, totally Japanada. I don't know if you, but like, we got off the plane. I really thought we were in Tokyo. I'm like, what happened? Oh, yeah.
I had to process that.
No, it's Japanada. Let me tell you something. I literally got off the plane. I thought like I landed like in Saigon somewhere, you know, or Tokyo. I'd be like, what is going on here? What?
Nothing. You're just mixing cultures.
I understand. You know, I know.
Talking about Tokyo, Saigon.
Yeah, I wasn't making a rubber, but there's a huge Asian influence in Vancouver. In fact, when I landed, and great food too. But when I landed, I asked a lot of questions about it because Vancouver, they'll tell you, like up until a few years ago, it was like a lot of low rises. There was no high rise building, and all this Asian influence and money started coming in. And there's like high rises, like in the sky. Like, we used to never look at a skyline like this, right? But we enjoyed it there. Then we took a cruise from Vancouver up to Anchorage, and it was one of the best trips we ever took. Family was blown away, and then we flew back from Anchorage to Florida. But yeah, we like to drive, we like to fly, so that's always been problematic for us. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to go to the trade show this year, to be honest with you. And plus, this is a year I feel it's important for me to show some solidarity, and hopefully they could turn this thing around, figure out how to make it a more relevant organization to our industry as a whole as it is today, not as it was 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Well, I'll tell you, I've met everybody I know in the industry at the trade show. I met Arthur at the trade show. I didn't really, Lou didn't know me from Adam, but I met him at the trade show for the first time at the Santa Clara booth. I met, you know, Bert at the trade show.
That's
I met
the time
Sal at
you
the
get
trade
to,
show.
yeah, it's a time where you get to meet
To me,
people.
it's like, it's our one time of the year where we all should get together and have a good time.
And enjoy it.
I don't even use it. I mean,
Go to the Circle Bar.
Yeah, it's great to leave the trade show with orders.
Right.
My priority for me, I mean, you see me in my booth.
Right.
I want to be a host, and I want to hang out and talk with people. What the guys do in business is great. I cherish what the employees of the company do at the show for us.
Right.
But they know that if I start getting in the way, I'm going to get in the way. So I'd rather just kind of hang out and see everybody that I don't get to see all year.
Well, that's what happens at our level, right? Because like even now, the shows that I've gone to in the last 6, 7, 8 years, I don't go to do any work. I bring a buyer to do the buying. Other people do the talking. Yeah. I just go there to do what you do. Say hi, see the guys I don't get to see. Look, I'm a little different because I'm lucky because I'm in South Florida. And now you finally being here, it's like literally almost everybody now is in South Florida, right? So I'm very fortunate enough that a lot of guys are in my backyard, and I do get to see them on a regular basis outside of going trade show. But I have a lot of other retailer friends. I have a lot of other industry people that I don't really ever get to see unless I get to the trade show. So that's what I like doing. Unfortunately, it's like a duck in a roll because even though I bring a buyer, every single guy wants to sell me what they're. I mean, I can't go to a urinal and use a bathroom without some guy, unfortunately, walking up next to me saying, "Hey, I got a new company. Here's my card." I'm like, "Dude, my hands are a little full right now, but give me a minute.
Well, not that full.
Let me wash up and we'll get to it."
That plus you have to look at Matt Booth's face in the urinal on the sticker that he probably placed there.
I never really look in the urinal. It's
really?
It's literally like the metal plate, circle plate.
Yeah.
So how do you know you're getting it in there?
Really?
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 Yeah.
We're having
How
really?
incompetent are you, dude?
I mean, come on, man.
It's a 2x4 hole gap. I mean, you can't make it somewhere in there.
You don't like when they have like a little bullseye in there with like a bug on it?
Well, now you're playing games in the
bathroom. Are you playing the P games?
I like that.
Are you at home next to Axel, like trying to sink submarines in your toilet? Peeing in the toilet? Is that what you do now?
No. He doesn't pee in the toilet yet.
No?
I'm trying.
Do you skip the urine? Do you skip one?
Oh, you mean like the etiquette?
Yeah.
Never stand next to a guy.
Yeah, I stay away.
I stay away. I will use a stall
before I
stay away.
stand next to
I
a guy in the
urinal.
If I walk into a bathroom that doesn't have dividers between the urinal, I'll go into a stall. Yeah. I can't stand it because you'll be at that line.
It is weird.
And the guy will walk up right next to you.
Yeah.
And then he starts talking to you.
Yeah.
No, guys.
Yeah.
Not the moment I have a conversation when
Listen,
I got my package in my hand.
It's really, really, really funny because, my partner, right? I had a partner for many years. God rest his soul. He passed away, and his estate, was kind of my partner. But his son runs the estate. His son, we've been close for many years. When we were building out Boynton Beach, he fought me tooth and nail. Like he wanted a urinal. I personally think urinals are disgusting. I don't like to use them. I'd rather pee in a toilet. I don't want splashback. I don't want guys standing next to me. It's the whole process of using. And he fought me tooth and nail. And I said, no, it's not happening. I refused. I'm thinking it's over. A couple years later, we're building West Palm.
Oh, is that what I was going to ask you about? Okay.
That's why there's a urinal in West Palm. And I kind of started feeling sorry for him. Like, all right, dude, if it means that much to you, I'll throw in the damn urinal for you in the bathroom. I don't go to that store. I mean, it's not my base store. So you know what? If you want to pee on your wrist and your hands, go ahead.
But it's a one-seater, so when you go in, there's it's like that awkward moment where you're like, I hope this is just me
They're not
in
public
here.
bathrooms, right?
Yeah.
It's a one-person bathroom. So if you go in our West Palm bathroom, there's a nice seat, and then there's a urinal.
Yeah.
In case you want to use the urinal instead of the toilet bowl.
I know guys that have them at their house. Does any of you guys have a
No,
urinal at your house? I know guys that have them in their house.
Yeah, I know someone that had it in his house also.
It's
I thought
usually
it was weird. Yeah.
It's a status symbol. Like I know some very wealthy
A
people
urinal
that have
is a status symbol
in their
what universe?
in their private bathrooms in their home, like their master bathroom. They have a urinal.
Yeah.
And a toilet, and of course a bidet. But
what I don't understand, I don't see anymore.
Wait, so Pete, is that Joe Jonas who has that? I have to ask.
No. This is someone I knew. He had a big house in Vegas, and he had two separate rooms, two separate bathrooms. One big bathroom, giant showers, but then when it came to the bathroom part,
like the
toilets,
toilet room,
there was a his and hers, and in his he had the toilet and the urinal. I was like, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it is weird. But I don't see these anymore. I remember them from when I was a kid. But why would anybody want to build a urinal where the receptacle is like your ball height? Do you remember the ones that just went all the way to the ground?
Yeah.
Why don't they make those anymore? You should be
They're
peeing
probably
on the ground, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It's like the full length of the wall.
Yeah.
That's what we had in high school.
And you're a regular
and the
height.
urinal's on the floor.
But you're a regular height guy. Some of these are made
How
for
do you
taller
reach?
people than me.
There's always a kiddie one in there. Don't lie.
There's
always a kiddie one in there. Don't lie.
Always.
Yeah, but sometimes there's a kid there. I'm not going to go over there. I mean,
let me ask you something.
The last thing I need.
Have you ever stood behind a kid while he's taking a piss in the urinal? Because that would be like a little freaky.
No. Waiting for that.
Yeah.
There's 16 other urinals open, and I'm waiting for the 5-year-old.
If I saw you line up behind
No.
the kid.
Oh, this show is going
No, but there are some.
It's gotten to a point that it's just pushing over that line of.
Story of our lives, Pete. Story of our lives here.
All right. We see this week who belongs in a cigar insane asylum.
Welcome to the Cigar Asylum,
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
where logic and reason cease to exist.
This week, Who Belongs in a Cigar Insane Asylum, brought to you by CLE Cigars and CLE and Asylum Cigars, and the people that bring you urinals, thanks to Kohler.
Adam's in a food coma, I think.
Well, listen, I gotta tell you, I've been suffering because I took one bite out of that sandwich and I haven't been able to finish it.
Oh, it's so
It's just so good. I'm waiting to clear this up.
Yeah.
Nobody touch it. I see you guys all looking at the
Yeah.
rest of my burger.
Don't even look at it.
Don't even look at it.
I'm not saying I was.
I see you eyeing my burger. All right, this week.
Somebody cut me some more steak.
This week's inductee, not only crazy, but he's now in debt. Listen to this. This is a true story because I had to actually check it because I didn't believe this, right? Bruce McConville, 55, a businessman and failed mayoral candidate, shocker, in Ottawa, Canada, said he sold several properties, profiting $1 million recently. During this time, he was in the middle of a heated divorce with his now ex-wife. So apparently so determined that he would make sure that she wouldn't get one red penny of the money, he took the cash and burned it. Look it up. He burned $1 million
in cash.
In cash, right? This is the judge now. I find what you have done to be morally reprehensible, said Superior Court Justice Kevin Phillips, before jailing him for 30 days for failing to pay the $300,000
that he owed his wife
in spousal and child support. So he burned $700,000 not to give his wife $300,000. Right? He also ordered McConville to pay his ex a $2,000 per day fine for the incident, and has mandated that he still pay his wife her share of the profit. So after burning it,
he's still got to pay.
And not getting his $700,000 portion of it, he's still got to give her $300,000. Congratulations, Bruce. You are without a doubt this week's inductee into the Cigar Insane Asylum, brought to you by CLE and Asylum Cigars. I love that. I love that.
Every time. Gets me
Big
every
props,
time.
man. Really, thank you for finally coming
Yes.
on.
No,
I've
yeah.
been chasing you. It was a good show. We talked a lot about good stuff. We'll probably see you both next week.
Yeah.
You're always welcome. Listen, I remember last time he came out, he was like, dude, this is so much fun. I want to do it again.
100%.
So
100%.
It took a little bit of time to get him on last time.
He's
but
not
yeah.
easy, dude.
But he's all
not
over.
easy.
He's also traveling
I'm just
all
never
over the
here.
place too.
It's
Yeah.
not easy.
And when I try to be here in the office,
Listen.
Danny kicks me away.
Listen.
It went to. I had to ask Yanni if it was okay for him to go with me, and then he had to ask his wife if it was okay.
It's like a
for him
whole
to go.
process.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, out of all the people, you're definitely don't have a career like in emergency responder. You never be. you would never be my first call on your emergency contact list because I would die before anybody would get. Abe needs a blood transfusion. I say, can we give it to him?
Let me ask my wife first.
But no, awesome, and we'll see you guys both next week, man. Really, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Much
And if you haven't got your tickets
Thank you
for
for having
the
us.
Tatuaje Cigars and the Red Meat Lovers Club dinner, that is next week Friday at the South Florida Fairgrounds.
Obviously, we won't be doing the show.
No, obviously not. Yes.
Trying to juggle doing the show during that event has always been torture, and
so much extra stress
Yeah,
on what is already a
so
stress.
It was fine for me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Fuck
for
you, Paul.
But yeah, so we just opted. We're going to play a best of next week.
Yeah.
Focus on doing the show, and then the Great Smoke.
Yeah.
And then who do we have the week after that?
Which would be March 1st, if I'm not mistaken.
Producer, anybody?
Yeah,
Paul?
we do.
Why is it not written into this?
Because I always
that you
put the
get paid
week.
to do?
I put the week.
You know, it'd be helpful if
the next week on
We're actually
there.
doing the actual show, so we could tease ahead. Even if it's 2 weeks, hey, next week's the Great Smoke. If you're not coming, guess what? You're going to miss out on a great time.
I have it.
He is
Hold on.
He is the best that we can afford.
Paul, the producer, the best we could afford.
Yes, sir.
Alec and Bradley Rubin.
Oh, they're coming.
All
All right, good
great.
Good show.
Fantastic. Good times.
Yeah, they're excited.
All right, absolutely. If you missed any part of the show, make sure you check out the KMA Talk Radio Facebook page. Pete, thanks for being here, buddy.
You're welcome.
Always a
Evan.
pleasure. Jose,
Evan.
thanks for being here.
Likewise.
Evan, thank you once again, as always.
Secretary of State.
The Secretary of Steak, always bringing the meats. Make sure you check out the Red Meat Lovers Club on Facebook and the redmeatloversclub.com. If you're not going to the dinner, guess what? You're missing out.
I'm taking pictures. I'm going to post it everywhere too.
Yeah,
Make you
Paul
jealous.
will do that. I will not be there, unfortunately, because some of us have to work for a living. Till 2 weeks from now, and as always, keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Cigar Fairy's making rounds.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Keep it lit with KMA Talk Radio.